You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation collecting center. Come on, won't you stay with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world. Let's show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Gonna talk to guests, only got the fans. Gonna put their knowledge to the test. Gonna laugh and memes, gonna disagree. Gonna show you things you've never seen. Gonna sing the song, gonna break the song. Gonna run this party all night long. So come on everybody, let me see you dance. Get yourself ready, you got one more chance. You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation collecting center. Come on, won't you stay with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world. We'll show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
I got special sound effects, bros. Welcome to the PlayStation Collectors Podcast, Season 4, Episode 20. My name's Joe Red. And we got a star-studded episode. Wait, is everybody still muted? No, just a couple of you muted. Wait, are you guys all muted? Did you guys do that on purpose? All right. I just want to make sure I didn't mute everybody. I'm just making sure. I'm like, I don't know. Did I actually find a button that did that? Anyway, we got Mr. Figsy Games joining us. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, what's up, everyone?
We got Mr. Rad Bash joining us. How you doing, buddy?
Come on, everybody.
We got JRPG Life. We got Video Game Votery.
Up, people.
We got RNG Gamer.
Hey, thanks for having me.
And we got Mr. Cagman. How you doing, buddy?
What's up, guys?
You like that one?
Yes, sir. Jaws, come on now. Gotta have that.
And Radical Reggie may or may not be joining us this evening. I'm not really sure. He's packing for a trip. He says he has a show. So, he's keeping us in suspense. Maybe he'll show up. Maybe he won't. I'm not really sure. But yeah, it's going to be an awesome episode. Thank you guys all for joining me. First off, this is really cool. Appreciate you guys all coming back on the show. This is just like a super sick lineup, and I'm super excited to do that. But I did have one other special guest joining us this evening. Here he is.
What's up?
What up, Mr. Ghostface? How you doing, brother?
Chilling. Yeah.
That's cool. Are you not here like to murder us all? Are you by any chance?
We'll see what happens.
You see what happens? Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone goes missing during the show?
Sydney got away, so my hands are free for now.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, if you ever see her, just let her know to pick up her phone.
Who's Sydney? Who's Sydney? Who knows Sydney?
Sydney Prescott, the bane of my existence.
I don't think I'm cool enough to understand pop culture references.
Do you not know what scary movie I'm talking about?
I don't.
It's called Scream, you idiot. You're the first to die.
It was Drew Barrymore. Isn't that Drew Barrymore? I don't know. Isn't there like 45 Scream movies by now, though?
Neve Campbell, ring a bell.
Oh, yeah. Neve Campbell rings many bells.
She plays Sydney Prescott. Holy cow, is this not the Halloween special?
Yeah, it is, but like I said, I'm not cultured. Anybody want to fill me in? Who's Sydney Prescott?
She's the main character of Scream.
Yes. Yep.
That's the name of the character.
Yeah, that's the character. Yeah.
Dude, you think I'm supposed to remember anything from the 90s or 2000s? Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not. It's been a minute. I haven't rewatched
PlayStation 1 games on your shelf, Joe.
So I remember those. That's true, but that's all I was doing back then. So that's probably why. But yeah,
killing my vibes.
Well, you'll be doing a lot of stuff, man. Appreciate it. So we actually had another guest. Did you actually murder him before you came on, or?
Huh?
Yeah, we were planning on some other people showing up, but I don't know.
What?
Instead, we get a serial killer.
You calling the police? What? What's going on?
Figsy's calling the Australian police.
It'll take him a minute.
I don't know, man. That's what I'm pretty sure. So yeah, that was Ghostface, guys. Thanks for joining us. That was
That was an experience. That happened.
That was scary.
Awesome.
yeah, it was a fun time. So yeah, this is our special Halloween episode. So I figured we'd bring on a scary serial killer. Maybe he'll come back again. Who knows? I don't know what he's got planned. We'll see. But yeah, I figured we would have like a little different episode than normal. I know we always talk about video games for the most part, and we're always talking about physical collecting and that sort of thing. But I thought it might be fun just to kind of talk about Halloween, some childhood memories, sort of things like that, and some certain topics. So I don't know if you guys saw the thumbnail. Does anybody know the horrible monster that I put in the thumbnail? Can anyone recognize that? You get 5 Joe points if you can.
Pumpkinhead.
Very nice. See, this guy does.
Yeah.
This is what I do. This is like my whole thing.
Yeah, well, you were kind of a mandatory invite to have that for that reason. But yeah, Pumpkinhead. So the reason I picked that, and one of the first topics I thought that'd be kind of fun to talk about is, nowadays it's kind of hard to scare me when I watch horror movies and stuff like that during Halloween. But when I was a kid, it was like really easy to scare me, and there was all sorts of movies that I watched that like really traumatized me when I was younger that I should not have watched. And Pumpkinhead is like way up on that list. So it's not that extreme of a movie by any chance, but when I saw it, how old I was, it was like way too freaking scary. And that monster was insane looking. So to me, that was like, I'd seen like Jason with the hockey mask at that point, maybe.
Right.
But Pumpkinhead was like a straight up demon and like haunted my nightmares for years. So that was one of the movies that for me, like just absolutely traumatized me. So I thought it'd be fun to, share some childhood PTSD, maybe go in the room and talk about what was the first movie you saw or a movie that you saw where you were just too young and it just really messed with you. Brad Bash, you got one? You're pretty good at these type of things. So
Yeah, so mine was the original It. It gave me a lifelong fear of clowns that then developed into like a love of clowns. But yeah, I was like super little, and it was the scene where he like rips off the little boy's arm. Yeah, it traumatized me like no other. Nowadays it's not a scary movie at all. It's really bad, but then it was terrifying.
I mean, I still think it's got some scares.
The acting, yeah.
Yeah, well,
Scariest thing about it.
Hey, it's got the guy from Night Court, bro. It's good stuff. No, the scene from It, the original, the one that always messed with me. So I don't know if you remember, but like they're telling a story where like this girl is inside of this house, and it's like just a short little section. It's like a flashback section or something, I think. And like there's this giant freaky monster walking down the stairs slowly at her. I don't know if I'm describing it well enough, but there was this one scene where like this creepy old house, and the girl went inside, and there was this giant, like, I don't know, sort of Frankenstein looking monster. And that image of that scene for some reason just always stuck with me and like really got to me.
Wow.
What about you, RNG Gamer?
Oh, I've got a good one. When I was 8,
Mhm.
I saw the first Hellraiser.
Ooh, nice.
If you aren't familiar with the plot of Hellraiser, it's about a sex addict who has reached the limit of all his sexual proclivities, and he basically summons some demons to come torture him to death for sexual satisfaction. A perfect movie for a young, impressionable child. It scarred me for life. And I think about it pretty much every day and just get like a chill up my spine and wonder if it made me a worse person. And I know it did.
For sure.
Yeah, I've always talked about the Hellraiser series as like peak horror because it's not just scary and it's not just gory, it's also like psychologically twisted as well. So it's also like it's one of those movies that, like you said, like after you watch it, you kind of sit back and you're like, I feel like I shouldn't have seen that or access this part of my brain.
Yeah, you can't unsee it.
Something I should have just left unknown.
Yep.
I did make sure to go back and watch every single sequel, though, not that long ago.
Oh, ew.
The new one was horrible. Ugh.
So bad. It was so bad.
Ugh. It's terrible.
Anything after 3 is like not worth your time.
Mm-hmm.
I'll fight to the death for 4. I like 4. I think it's good. It's not as good as the first 3, but 3's not that good either. To be honest with you.
Is
The
it
first
four- Space.
was that?
Is 4 the one where they go to space, or is that 5?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Is 4 the one where they go to space, or is it 5?
That's 4. So 4 is they take the box into outer space in a spaceship and they try to open it there because it's safer,
Right.
I guess. To summon Pinhead, which is, I don't know, it's a silly thing to say. Think about it. But that's what they do. And then the rest of the, most of the movies actually takes place back in old-timey France, and it's about the toy maker that created the box, and there's this weird Satanist demon dude who asks him to make it and doesn't really tell him what he's making. He just thinks he's making a toy, but he's actually making a giant summoning portal to hell that brings out Cenobites that do bad things to people. So
that was a trip.
it's okay. It's okay. It's one of those things where since they get so much worse each time, in comparison, it's been elevated.
Right.
I've always said that, I have the band in, as they go on.
Your mic's cutting out, Joe.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Whatever you said, buddy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you were cutting out pretty bad.
Oh, I said.
Dan and Elsa, what about you guys? What traumatized you guys as a kid?
Elisa, what about you?
I think this one's kind of obscure. I don't know if anyone's seen it. In the 1994, there was a Frankenstein movie that came out
With Robert De Niro?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. That was after Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah, it's Mary Shelley's or whatever. Yeah.
Yes, that one. So I wasn't supposed to be watching this movie, but my mom was up late watching this on Laserdisc.
Wow.
That's
Nice.
right there.
Because there was a Laserdisc rental store in town, and so I was sleeping, and the sound was too loud, so I was the old aged little girl that came out to tell my mom to turn it down because my wall shared the living room surround sound and my bedroom wall. Anyways, as I came out, and she meant to pause the video, but I ended up seeing the scene and she rewound it, so I ended up seeing it twice.
Oh no.
More trauma.
Oh wow.
Trauma.
And, so I believe what happened is the main villain, the Frankenstein of the story, plunges his whole hand through the back of her chest and rips her heart out.
Wow.
And then rips it, puts it back in and back out again.
My.
So that was pretty messed up. But
Now she doesn't watch horror movies anymore.
yeah, I don't really watch horror movies anymore. That didn't bother me as much as Friday the 13th, or not Friday the 13th. Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare
Yeah.
on
Nightmare
Elm
on
Street.
Street, yeah.
Yeah. That'll traumatize you.
So for me,
Sure.
and this is going to age me. Right after it came out of the theaters and was released on VHS, I watched a movie called The Gate.
Oh yes,
Yeah, great.
bro.
Hey, I love that.
So
And,
good.
Something about little creatures coming out of a hole in my backyard, and then is just. I still remember that movie, and it's funny because I don't meet many other people that do. But man, that movie was wild, and it turned
Yes.
into kind of silly near the end of it. But yeah, those little guys, and then later there was the Tales of in the Hood, whatever, that had the little guys running around.
Yeah, the little dolls. Yeah.
And it's always those little stop motion animation creatures, and it's weird.
That's hilarious.
Mr. Nerdy Nick is here, everybody. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Sound effects. Wait. There you go. No one left. Go, buddy. We were
Yeah,
just
sorry about that. I got a
discussing,
little tied up with the family and all that.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming on, dude.
I can see
yeah,
it,
of
man.
course.
We were just discussing movies that traumatized us when we were a kid, and specifically, we were just discussing movies about small little creatures that traumatized you when I was a kid, and there's quite a few of those. So,
Yeah.
there's a movie called The Munchies. Has anyone ever seen that movie?
Love the
All that
Munchies.
one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nope.
The
That's why I
Munchies. If you haven't seen it, so I'm particularly into. I like bad, cheesy horror movies more than actually like well-made, scary ones. I like ones that are silly more than actually scary. Like I lean in that direction. And Munchies is one of those that I kind of feel like is in that genre. And it's like about like little like creatures that kill everybody. It's great if you've never seen it. I haven't seen it in a long time, but that's definitely one that I remember freaked me out a little bit when I was a kid. And then Critters. I don't know if you guys ever watch Critters.
Oh, yeah.
Top tier horror movies if you're looking for small, cute things that murder everybody. It's good stuff.
Oh yeah.
Crazy.
Absolutely.
What about you, Kag? Anything that
Okay, so Pumpkinhead, obviously, but you guys already mentioned that one. That was like a trigger point. But if I'm not going to use Pumpkinhead, I'll use Child's Play. And the reason Child's Play got me is because I actually owned a My Little Buddy doll. After I seen Child's Play, I took that doll to the basement and beat the head in with a hammer, and my mother obliterated me. I got the whooping of a lifetime. She was like, "I paid all this money for this. You shouldn't have been watching that movie." If I still had that doll today, probably worth a pretty penny. But destroyed that doll because of Child's Play, man. Child's Play got me.
To be clear, you had the my buddy, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy.
With the bad haircut and everything.
We're gonna go.
My mom
They're
bought
probably
it from,
scarce today because so many of them got destroyed by kids.
She got
that
Children's Palace here in
that
Ohio.
movie. I'm pretty sure like put them out of business.
Oh yeah, for sure. It did.
I think that like destroyed them.
There's a whole story about it. Yep.
You guys remember Kid Sister too? Kids.
Yep.
I do. Dude, I used to. I didn't have those. I had the My Pet Monster though. I remember that. That was my like giant toy that I had. The thing was dope.
I will say a movie now, still to this day, that I just can't watch, and still scares me to this day because it's like rooted in realism, right? Stigmata, man. I can't do Stigmata. I cannot.
Stigmata.
I cannot. I just can't.
I've never
Man.
seen that.
Watched it once, will never watch it again. I don't play around with that type of stuff, man. So
That was like what, 99?
yeah, it was in the 90s. Yep. And just because it's rooted in reality, depending on your beliefs and stuff. Nope, I'm good. Keep that. Still today, you can keep that. I'm all right.
So yeah, some of those like based on a true story ones can be scarier than even like anything else. Like, have you guys ever seen the Mothman Prophecies?
Yes.
Yeah. I've heard of that movie or what that is.
I've heard of
Are you familiar with it? It's a crazy story. It's supposedly there was like some I mean, I don't know how true it is based on the movie. Who knows what the actual story is? But like this guy's like a reporter or something, and he goes to this town, and while he's there, he's getting all these crazy, weird phone calls, and like the lines sound all like irradiated and crackly, and the voice is all messed up and stuff. But the message is like this guy, and he's trying to warn him of this huge disaster that's going to happen. And it's supposed to be based on a true story, and I don't want to ruin the ending or whatever, but it's creepy as in hell, man. And this is a true story, right? So that's the premise of the movie. This actually happened. So the guy's getting all these phone calls, and it's all these creepy, weird voices, right? And so I go see this movie with my friends, and I turn off my phone, see the movie, get out of the theater, and I get in my car, and I have a voicemail on my phone. This is a true story. And so I listen to my voicemail on my phone, and all I hear is this noise. It's like and this voice going, and I was like, holy. And I like literally like goosebumps crawling out of my skin. Like I was actually terrified. I was like, what is happening? Like I didn't tell anyone I was going to see this movie. Nobody knew. Like it was like, you know what I mean? Like nobody could have pranked me to do this. And It freaked me the hell out because I didn't know who it was from because it was just a missed call. I didn't have my phone on. It was just a voicemail. Like I didn't know what the number was. I didn't know what it was. And so like anyway, like the next day, this kid calls me and he's like, "Oh man, I'm so sorry. I called you last night, wicked drunk, and I was washing dishes." And he had the sink running really loud, and I left a voicemail, and I'm like, "You mother!" I'm like, "You."
Oh man!
So I was actually terrified for like the whole night. Like this is so scary, dude. So yeah, I for real, like any type of those movies where it has any basis in reality, it can definitely be more terrifying. Which is what I don't really. Like I said, I'm like more on the goofy side of things for sure. Who hasn't gone yet? Figsy, what about you? Anything?
I'm going to go back to the cute and cuddly stuff, and I was always afraid of Chucky. The Chucky doll scared the hell out of me. I actually remember watching it. I might have seen a few scenes as a kid, but I always remember just always being afraid of that thing. But then I didn't really watch horror movies until my teen years, and I didn't really find them scary. I just enjoyed like the gore and horror. I loved all the Saw movies and Jaws. And then I got to an age where I just didn't really find the appeal to horror movies, and yeah, don't really watch them anymore. That's me.
Yeah, so that's why I asked about the childhood things. I figured some people might not be into them anymore, but everybody got scared when they were kids. But yeah, Child's Play is a specifically traumatizing series. I feel like that in particular, that franchise is more responsible for giving kids PTSD than any other, like for sure. And like it's to the point where like my girlfriend, like she like hates those movies, like refuses. Like if I put those on, she'll leave the house. She'll be like, "Screw you, I'm going to see my parents." Like she wouldn't even be like, she can't stand those movies. So yeah, that's pretty common. But I don't know. For me, I was lucky. I had that on like a VHS tape, and it was like one of the 5 tapes I owned. So it was like, to me, it was just like Bill or Ted or Child's Play, whatever. It like it was just something to watch. So it never really got to me like that because I watched it so many times. And I always found the guy's voice hysterical. I don't know why. But like he's like so funny sounding. Chucky sounds so funny to me. He just sounds like a guy from where I'm from. I don't know. It's different, I guess.
But it makes sense. Part of the charm of a horror movie can be the suspense and the moments that scare you. And if you've seen it 10 times, all that's gone out the window because you know what's going to happen. You know,
like Child's Play. The scariest part for me is when he's saying the like incantation to go into the doll itself. That's like really the part that I just don't like about the movie. After that, you know, you kind of understand what it is, but the clouds and the storm coming in and the wind starts blowing, he's doing the incantation. I never liked that about that movie.
Child's Play 2 is the best. Have you guys seen 2? I mean, I've
seen
all of them.
Probably, yeah.
It's the one where he gets adopted, right?
Yes. So
Yeah.
two is like, in my opinion, it's the one that has like had the biggest budget. Like it looks the best, and you know, it's got some pretty iconic scenes in it. But like the ending, that's the one where it takes place in like the toy factory.
Yeah.
And like he gets like, he starts like, they may start turning him like flesh again, and he's getting like mutilated, and he sticks the knife in his arm.
Yeah.
Bleeding, he's crawling around, his eye, everything's all melted, and it is like. Like I said, that one stuck with me for sure. That was one of those ones where I'm like, it just was so horrifying looking. But that series has degenerated into like just a joke now. Isn't it like a TV show now?
Yeah. It's bad. It's not even worth any like time at all.
I can't imagine it's anything. What's it got to like Bride of Chucky and like Baby of Chucky and Chucky's dog and Chucky's?
Yeah, it's like a whole
Chucky's cousins,
thing.
uncles, grandfathers. Pet cat.
They did try to like revamp it back into the horror genre with like Cult of Chucky, and there was another one, and then there was the reboot with Aubrey Plaza.
Oh yeah,
but they made it like it was basically a horror version of Small Soldiers. Do you remember that 90s movie?
Yes.
Yeah. It was basically that, like the CPU gone wrong in the fucking doll.
They had Mark Hamill as Chucky.
Yeah, which it was just like a toned down Joker from Batman the animated series.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
You can only do the demonic toy trope so much, before it's like super stale. You got to do something like really like genre defining to be able to like make it, I don't know, palatable nowadays.
Yep.
I think Puppet Master was the best one after
Yeah.
Child's Play.
Yes.
They did
I
it.
think it's the best one, period.
Yeah, I think Puppet Master was way more impressive too because everything was stop motion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's great.
Puppet Master, I love Puppet Master. It's like such a creative. I don't know. Horror movies. Half the fun is the creativeness of how they're going to kill people.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what makes them good. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. Or this, they did this, or, there's like always that twisted thing. And Puppet Master, that's all it is. It's just like, oh, how is he going to use the drill to kill this guy? How is he gonna do this? Are they going to use the leech lady? Are they going to use this? But it gets a little, it's another one of those. There's like 8 or 9 of them. So
yeah,
it degenerates over time for sure. But yeah, absolutely amazing. That was also one of the only things I ever wanted to like start collecting. Is they have like insane dolls for that series? I don't know. And like figurines.
Yes, they do.
Man, I would love to get those. Absolutely amazing.
Who hasn't
Nick,
gone yet?
Did you? Yeah, I don't think you had. Did you go?
Did Video Game Votery go yet?
Yes,
I did.
No, go ahead, Marcus.
I got a weird one. Is there a rule? Does it have to be a horror movie?
No.
Y'all gonna laugh.
Whatever terrified you, man.
Like when you kids, you think back and it's like, why do I remember this? Like I was really young. I came out 3 or 4. Rambo scared the hell out of me. Don't know why. I don't know if it's just Sylvester's face when he talks or his voice.
He's still scary. Yeah.
He is. I don't know. I just vividly remember me being really young and Rambo scared me. I don't know why, but just did.
And then they made a cartoon out of it.
Right.
Wait, what?
Which
There's a Rambo cartoon?
Yeah.
Oh, this is the first I've heard of that.
Yeah, cartoon, toy line, video games, all of it. They give it the kidification treatment. Just like they did with Rambo. RoboCop and other properties like that in the 80s.
Yeah.
Don't feel bad about Rambo because as a kid, Alice in Wonderland was terrifying to me. Still, like, just as a kid,
weird
thinking
stuff.
about being lost and like these people bullying you and making fun of you and off at your head and all. Like as a kid, dude, that movie was terrifying to me. I just couldn't stand it.
I can see that.
One more that's even more terrifying is that movie Return to Oz.
Yeah.
The wheelers, the little dudes that roll around. Oh, that
Yeah.
scared the hell out of me. Yeah, no, I have to
All
agree
of
with
that
that.
movie is just like it's freaking nightmare fuel.
Yeah.
Yeah. My 10-year-old was very disturbed by the woman who switched out her heads. I had forgotten about that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they all wake up and start screaming. Nightmares all night.
Oh yeah.
Do you guys
Marcus, I'm glad you brought up a different movie that's not horror. I wasn't going to mention this, but like my big thing when I was a kid that I was always afraid of, we had a snake in the house once, and then I just didn't sleep for like a year, just absolutely terrified that snakes were going to like crawl into my bed or something. And yeah, couldn't watch a movie that had a snake in it or anything.
Well, and they're like 50 feet long in Australia too, so that probably doesn't help.
That's true,
Right.
There's just monsters
Yeah,
out
like
there.
the rainforest too, where they were everywhere.
Their spiders are the size of a dog. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I don't ever want to go there. No.
We joke down here in Tucson. We just say that like Southern Arizona is the United States Australia. Yeah. Snakes galore down here, man. I hate snakes.
Nope.
I don't know what it is. If they had legs, I'd be like, hey, it's Mushu, from Mulan. But nah, man, like, just the way they freaking move and stuff. I also got chased by a rattlesnake though, so that
That doesn't sound fun.
That's trauma.
Yeah, they always say snakes are more afraid of you than you are of them, but this one fell out of a tree and was pissed off. Wrong place, wrong time.
To be clear, it jumped out of the tree.
Yeah, it jumped out of a tree.
Yeah.
You guys, do you remember Pee Wee Herman's Big Playhouse?
Yeah.
Yeah, Pee Wee's
His Big Adventure.
Yeah.
Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Pee-wee's Playhouse.
When I was a kid, that was like one of my absolute favorite things in the
I
world.
have the whole series on VHS.
But for some reason,
Nice.
I was terrified of the giant head salesman, the door-to-door salesman. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Randomly, he
I'm
would
going
knock
door to
on the
door.
and 90% of the time it'd be someone nice. It'd be like the lady or the cowboy. What's his name? And
Cowboy Curtis.
Cowboy Curtis. Yeah, it was always someone nice, but every once in a while he would open the door to be the door-to-door salesman. He'd be like, "Oh!" and I'd be like, "Oh God!" I'd freak out, scare the crap out of me every time when I was a little
Didn't
kid.
Lawrence Fishburne play Cowboy Curtis?
He did.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was credited as Larry Fishburne back then too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the in his he used to have like a stage show he used to do before his TV show, and like I'm pretty sure Phil Hartman, that's where he got his start as well. He was on the stage show with him, and God, someone else. I think there's maybe one or two other people were mildly famous, but yeah, Morpheus was Cowboy Curtis.
Phil
they had
and
a
Pee Wee had
comic-
like huge beef, didn't they?
Say that.
Phil and Pee Wee, they had like huge beef outside of the like everything because when it came down to the movie, like Phil got cut out or something like that.
Could be. Yeah,
Yeah,
Phil
like-
didn't-
Yeah, I think I
he
saw
wasn't
something
in
about
it.
that.
Yeah, I remember watching like a whole thing. Like he was super pissed for like a long time.
That's a shame.
Yeah. Yeah, because they were part of the Groundlings. It's a like a LA based comedy club.
Yep.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I don't know too much about freaking Pee Wee lore. I was one of those kids that grew up at the right time to get into Pee Wee, you know. So,
Dude, it was so good.
Yeah.
I loved it. I thought it was such a good show. I absolutely loved it. I thought the movies were great too. Well, I thought the first movie was great. The second movie was a Big Top Adventure. That one was not that good.
The talking couch was too much for me.
Cherry was great. I had a mini Cherry when I was a kid.
I drew the line at the talking couch. I couldn't watch it.
Dude, I loved that, and I loved Zombie. I thought Zombie was great. The Mecca Lecca High, Mecca Hiney Ho. That guy.
Yeah.
That was always great.
Hula Mecca, Hala Mecca, Hula Mahe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I still like the word of the day and everything else. So anyway, yeah, rest in peace, Paul Rubin. I didn't know we were going to talk about Pee Wee Herman for 20 minutes, but yeah. He was the man. But I just thought it was fun when you mentioned stuff that used to scare the crap out of you when you were a kid. Like, I just have to bring that up because it's so weird. Like, but I was like genuinely terrified. Like, I'd run out of the room. I'd be like, I can't handle this. I don't know what it is.
Too much. It's too much.
I got one more story about movies I shouldn't have watched that scared the crap out of me when I was kids. So when I was, I don't know, maybe like 9 or 10 or something, I'd seen every horror movie in the house like a million times. You know what I mean? Except for one, which was The Exorcist. My mother was like, "You are not allowed to watch this movie," and I was, "Come on, come on, how bad could it be? How bad could it be? It's just a movie." You know, I'd seen all this. I'd seen Nightmare on Elm Street. I'd seen Jason. I'd seen all. I was like, I'm an OG. I can handle anything. My mom was like, "You can't handle this movie, son." And I was like, I couldn't believe it. Like, I couldn't wrap my head around it. I'm like, there's no way. There's nothing could possibly be in this movie that I can't see. And so she would never let me watch it. And then one night, she had too much wine.
That's how it goes.
And she was like, "You know what? Go ahead. You and your brother, you want to watch it? Go ahead. I'm going to put it on. I'll turn off the lights. I'll go upstairs. I'm going to read a book. You kids have fun. Go ahead. You kids have fun."
Oh,
so we were like, okay, cool. Yeah, all right. And so we put on The Exorcist and we were watching it. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I should not have seen it. She was right.
Facts.
She was correct. There were things in this movie that the girl says that are so outrageous. I was not. It wasn't even like scary it was just more like I shouldn't be hearing these words type of thing. Like it was foul. Like the stuff that it's just insane. And like it scared the ever crap. But I was committed. I'm like, I can't not watch it now because I'll never hear the end of it if I give up. Like, you know what I mean? Like I just can't I have to keep watching it. And so we were watching it and we got to the part where she twists her head around. I was talking about when her head just spins around and she's got a grin on her face. And just seeing that alone was like, I'm like, oh my God, it literally traumatized me. But my mom, because she's hilarious, she hit all the breakers in the house. At that moment, it just goes, kills all the power in the house, and then hides. She hides, so we can't find her. And so me and my brother are like, ah!
Oh, man.
And she's just nowhere to be found. We can't find her. We're like, we can't turn the power. It was like I was. Oh my god! Like that was one of the scariest things I've ever been through in my life. So I just,
That's just good parenting.
Yeah, meanwhile, it's one of the funniest moments of your mum's life. She's like, let me see it.
She enjoyed every
You wanna watch
second of
that
it.
scary movie? We'll get a load of this.
So that's one of my next topics. Is one of the reasons, like, why do you guys like Halloween? What draws you to horror games? Why do you guys like scary stuff?
I didn't go yet.
Pretty much one of the
Yeah, I was
big
gonna say
reasons.
Nick didn't get to go.
Oh, Nick didn't go yet. Oh yeah, go.
No.
I didn't
Go
go
ahead,
yet.
my friend.
So Chucky, number one, obviously, yes. Like,
Mhm.
absolutely traumatized me as a kid. Big toy collector, growing up. I had all the Batman animated series figures and
Nice.
Star Wars. What was it, like the Power of the Force or whatever it was called? I had a bunk bed in my room. So the bottom bunk was like a futon and the top bunk was like just a bed itself. After I saw Chucky, I normally slept on the bottom bunk. After I saw Chucky, I slept on the top bunk, and I would always lay as flat as I could. So if he were to ever walk in my room, he wouldn't see me, and he would leave and go on to the next room. And every night, I would set up my action figures to protect me, like around my room.
Nice.
All my GI Joes and
As
shit.
one would do.
Yep. But the movie, The Piece de Resistance, for me as a kid, I was like about 6 or 7 when I saw The Fly with Jeff Goldblum.
Yes.
Oh, classic.
Yeah, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" I was like, "This is not okay. He is sick. Someone help him." Yeah, it was. I don't think I ate anything for like a day or two because every time I looked at food, I was like, ugh, like any meat or whatever. I had that connection with like the way he looked and what my food looks like, and it was just no good, no fun. It took me 18, 19, 20 years to see it again. I have a copy on VHS. I'm a VHS collector, so
Nice.
I got it and I watched it, and I was like, yeah, no, I think I was right in feeling the way I was after I saw it when I was a little kid, and I'm not okay. So body horror is not for me.
See, and that's what Cronenberg does best. His body horror gore stuff
Mhm.
is like next level stuff. His special, like it's
Yeah.
he makes crazy
I
stuff.
still haven't seen Event Horizon for that, and that's a Paul W.S. Anderson movie, and
Such a good movie, man.
That is a
just
great movie.
The screen grabs I've seen of the body horror and everything, I'm like, you know what? Nah, I'm good.
Oh, dude, you're missing out. It's so good. Such a great movie.
What's so disappointing about that is there supposedly is like 45 minutes of deleted footage from that movie.
Really?
Yes. So that movie was actually supposed to be much longer and even more like crazy, and it was like too extreme. They said because they had those scenes for like when they went to hell.
Yeah,
it went or whatever. They had like tons more stuff like that, and supposedly they had to take all this stuff out of the film, and it's never been released like that.
Well, I've heard it's lost footage. They don't even have it.
Correct. Yeah, that's what.
Really?
I know. It's like they can't find it. So yeah, if it was available, I'm assuming by now it would have been out in some sort of direction.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, that's what's kind of makes me sad about that is I'm like, as messed up and crazy as that movie is, where we don't get the good stuff, we're missing out.
There's still hope. There's a big community out there that all they do is look for lost footage, and like every week and every day they find new stuff in comic books or old film or old TV shows or even just like ads that used to play back in the 70s and 80s. And there's people out there like watching old VHS tapes and getting on home recordings and like looking for that stuff, and it's a massive community. It's really awesome.
It's going to show up at a swap meet somewhere in like California.
Yeah, storage
Yep.
unit.
Yeah,
For sure. Yeah, Rick will be the one to find it. Watch.
Mark's gonna find it at a swap meet. He's a film buff.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Another one too, though, real fast. That's modern. is Terrifier. The
Yeah,
first.
did you guys see Terrifier 3? I heard it was like really, really gory. Like
I haven't seen the third one yet, but the first one I always fast forward through. I've only seen it twice, and every time, both times I saw it, I fast forward through this one in particular scene where he saws a woman in half while she's hanging upside down, and he starts from the bottom, which her bottom down, and I can't. I've seen childbirth twice, okay, and I cannot stomach seeing that. I don't know. There's just something about it. Terrifier 2 wasn't as bad, in my opinion, but
I don't care for him. I started with the second one, and when he's pouring bleach and salt on the chick, I was like, yeah, I'm good. Like there's a level, like I love horror, but there's a level where I'm like, yeah, we're past like where I should be, and I fell asleep. I don't know if that's good or bad that it put me to sleep, but yeah, I was like, I'm out. I'm good.
I mean, honestly, they're kind of boring. Those movies are just for the gratuity.
Yeah.
Gore. You know, it's the gore. It's all it is. There's no story to them.
Nope.
Yeah, and I'm not into like. It's funny because I don't like those movies that are kind of like torture porn. That are just like there's some horror movies where I'm like, this is just an exploration of somebody's sickest fantasies. That's not necessarily scary.
Yeah.
It's just kind of ridiculous. But I like stupid gore. I like silly gore. Have you guys ever seen Dead Alive?
Oh yeah,
that movie.
Yeah,
that is
Dead
good
Alive.
gore.
I don't
yeah,
know.
it's Peter Jackson's like debut, isn't it?
Well, no, I mean, I think Bad Taste was his first big movie, which is it's ridiculous. But if you've never seen Dead Alive, you should see it. I will forewarn you, though, it is one of the goriest movies I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
but it's like ridiculous. It's like spaghetti sauce flying around the room. It's not like it's not like trying to sicken you in that way, but it's got like that comical edge to it. Like I don't know how to describe it. It's like the plot is madness. It's basically these people capture a Sumerian rat monkey from some island, and if the monkey bites you, it turns you into a zombie. And so the plot is that this rat monkey is at a zoo, and this guy who's like a total loser who lives with his mom, and he's just like a mama's boy, and like his mom is like really like, I don't know, mommy dearest kind of like controls his life. She's horrible, just terrible, and she gets bit by the rat monkey. And he like tries to like hide it from everybody because he doesn't want.
And she's like on the roof in one scene.
The end of the movie.
Okay, yes, I have seen this.
Yes, but it just gets insane because like she turns into a zombie, and then she ends up biting this priest gets bitten, and then her nurse gets bitten, and then the priest zombie has a baby with the nurse zombie, and then there's a zombie baby running around killing everybody, and it's just insane. If you've never seen it, you should see it.
It's so funny to think that the guy that directed that went on to
make Lord of the
Rings trilogy. You know, like
that's how it goes.
Yeah, and then was attached to Halo at one point.
There's a lot of like slasher movies where they have like a lot of gruesome killing scenes that I don't care for. One comes to mind that I finally made it through the movie like 3 years later because it was just too much for me. I didn't really like what was going on. Was I Spit on Your Grave?
Oh yeah,
just too much for me, dude. Like
the original or the remake?
The remake. I didn't even watch the original. After I found out that there was an original, I said, "There's no way I'm watching this." It was just way too much, man. Like just stopped watching it in like middle of the movie and then came back like years later to finish it up, and it's still too much for me.
That's like real horror though. That's real life stuff. Like there's like a point where you're like, okay, I feel like I shouldn't even be watching this right now.
Exactly.
That's that movie. That's the like, ooh, you start to
I felt like that when I saw Saw 3. I don't know if you guys have seen Saw 3.
Mm-hmm.
There's a scene in particular. There's two scenes in that movie. That movie was where I was like, I think I'm done with the series. And two of them, where one of them is a woman is completely naked in a freezer and water sprays on her every like 30 seconds or something.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yep.
And then another scene is where a dude is on a crucifix mechanism and it starts rotating and it just his arms are on the platform and it starts rotating. And I think his legs are rotating. It's brutal. It's like gross, and you're like, what's the point of this shit?
Exactly. Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
There's an avant-garde modern movie called Crimes of the Future, and it's gory.
That's another Cronenberg movie.
Yeah, it's got Viggo Mortensen in it. It's all about like nobody can feel pain anymore, so they use gore as like a play, and people come to see you get your
Really
taken out and put it back in. It's very strange.
Crimes of the Future.
Crimes of the Future. Yeah,
That's
Viggo
actually
Mortensen.
really cool.
You know what's really strange about that is
really
Cronenberg. That was one of his original movies in like the 80s, and
Really?
then he remade it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
But it has like an all-star. It has like Kristen Stewart in it and a bunch of like.
Didn't that come out like within the last 2 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's very strange. It's
Reggie must be here.
Snake.
There he is.
Hey.
Reggie.
Welcome to the show, man. Thanks for joining.
Reggie's on time. Everyone else is early.
I mean,
That's what happened.
we usually do the show.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, man. We were just talking about horror movies that actually kind of crossed the line and disgusted us. Apparently, is where we're at right now in the conversation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's where it went.
Yes, we're talking about the new type of horror movie that's like, I don't know, it's just meant to push the limits of twistedness. I don't know how else to describe it. It's like I call them like the human centipede genre.
Oh man, yeah, that's
where
another
it's
one.
just somebody.
We haven't brought that
You
up
want a
yet,
disgusting
but
horror
that's
movie? There's this movie called The Loved Ones that came out. I think it was 10 years ago. I remember watching. This movie is like it's so gory. It's about this guy. He gets asked to the prom by this weird girl, and he says no because he's like the popular guy in school. And from that point on, man, like her and her dad, like they kidnapped him and they tortured this dude so bad, and like the scenes were just insane, dude. Like I remember there's one scene because he kept yelling and stuff, so they wanted to quiet him down, so they grabbed bleach and they. Oh man, it's just it's a trippy movie. If you want gore, you got to see that one. Maybe I could pull up a picture of it or something so you guys could check it out. But
I'm okay.
It's called the Loved Ones.
It's called The Loved Ones.
Okay,
That's not what
I don't think it's on the Terrifier level or anything like that, but it's an interesting movie. I mean, I watched it twice, but that was it for me. Twice is enough.
you had to watch it a second time to make sure.
Yeah.
Because if you make a movie like
movies
that,
to my horror
people are
list,
gonna watch
like,
it.
oh yeah, I can recommend this to people, but that one is rarely I recommend it because if you're a gore hound, then you'll probably like it. But I don't know, man. I wish I had let me see if I can find a clip of it so I can show you guys.
we don't know. That's
Oh,
okay.
my
Oh no!
There's a trailer. The trailer's not going to show you anything crazy, but you know that something's going to happen. Then they clip it to something else. But don't forget it, guys. Yeah, I see you guys looking it up now. Good, excellent.
I ain't looking up nothing.
Yeah.
And, I know Nick is looking it up too, because Nick, I know you like that movie, man. Come on.
I was just talking about like the extreme gore movies like Dead Alive. Have you ever seen that one, Reggie?
Yeah, I kick ass for the Lord. Yeah,
Exactly. I kick ass for the Lord. So you know
my teacher brought that to school. I remember when I was in high school. He said, "You guys got to watch this movie."
What?
Teacher?
Yeah, we all did good on a test, so he let us watch a movie. You remember they rolled the freaking VCR and TV in the room or whatever like that. So we got to watch that movie. And I remember the last part we saw before we
has sex with the nurse.
we got to the part where I kick ass for the Lord. So that part happened afterwards. I don't remember, but we got up to that part, and I remember, dude, like everybody was tripping. Like couldn't keep their eyes off the film because it was like so intriguing. Like we never seen anything like that before.
That's crazy.
So that's the type of gore I like. I don't, like I said, it's kind of silly. So I just real quick, have you guys ever like delved into the Japanese horror stuff?
A little.
You ever like
not
Legend
really.
of Riccio?
I've seen there's like two that I've seen. One of them, god dang it, it's like this girl tortures the shit out of this one guy. Like it's all kind of like it starts off like they're dating or something.
Yeah,
and
Audition.
The Audition.
It's like the Audition.
Yes,
man.
thank you. Yeah,
that movie is a trip, dude. That probably one of the most
That one
It's
was
a movie
hard to
that-
watch, man.
Yeah.
What's crazy about it is it just starts off as like a romantic comedy, and then it just takes a twist. I saw a movie recently that did that called Fresh, that stars the guy, he was from
Bucky. He's
what
in
is
Captain America.
Yeah.
Oh, Sebastian Stan.
Sebastian Stan.
Guy from
It was an unbelievably good movie. It was like the best movie I saw last year.
Oh, it was actually good.
It's unbelievably good. It's
Oh,
I
okay.
don't mean by like horror movie standards. I mean it's actually really good.
I'll have to check it out. I thought it looked kind of goofy, so I was like, and I like goofy movies.
It's
but I was
not
like,
very goofy. Speaking of movies that aren't goofy, that are new and they're kind of disturbing and also a little bit gratuitous, I think the best horror movie I've ever seen in my life is also the scariest one I've ever seen, and it was Hereditary.
That's a good one.
Oh, that is a messed up
That
movie.
movie was messed up, dude. Like,
Yeah, that's
seriously,
messed
movie.
up.
I mean, like
That-
when it involves like violence with kids and stuff like that, it's like, dude, that's just it took me to like the end, dude. I was like, man, it's too sad.
At the end of that, I thought I was going to have like like I literally, and it's such a good movie. And Toni Collette probably should have been nominated for an Academy Award for that.
Yeah, it probably should have been.
I don't know what it is with A24, but maybe it's because I'm some dumb individual or whatever, but elevated horror does not do it for me, man. Like Midsommar and Hereditary. I thought Hereditary was fucking boring.
Really? I find it, man, like The Witch and all that. I love that stuff.
Yeah, it did nothing for me. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's, I don't know. I'm more of like dude, like I grew up on like Wolfman, Dracula, Nosferatu, Mummy, like all the original like Universal monster movies and stuff. And so
Right.
I don't know, man. Like this elevated horror stuff just, I understand horror is always going to be a play on social commentary, especially with like Night of the Living Dead. George A. Romero was doing social commentary in that in that franchise. But I don't know, man. It just the new stuff. Like what was the other one? Mother. With
I haven't seen Mother yet, but
Jennifer. What is her name?
Do you know which one I could not get into? Did you guys watch The Witch?
I love The Witch.
I thought
Dude.
that was boring, dude. I fell
I
asleep.
love
I
it.
couldn't get into it, man.
Yeah.
I know it's like artsy fartsy, and I need to like pay.
I think that's
attention
another
to it
A24 movie.
more,
It
but
is.
it just
Yeah,
couldn't,
it is.
It couldn't like I just wouldn't. It wasn't grabbing me.
Yeah.
It's a really slow burn. That's how I felt. Like it was just. It had some like interesting stuff towards the end, like the last 10 minutes. Like the rest of it, you're kind of just like, what is happening? It's just nothing.
It's just suspense. So
Right.
What hits me about it, I normally don't like stuff like that, but I lived in Finland for like 6 months when I was in college in Espoo,
Okay.
Finland, and like the north of Finland in the winter. There's like 5 minutes of sun. And this family lived in such a rural area. They didn't even have electricity. They just ran a generator like 24/7. And the
Holy
hum of
shit.
that generator would drive me crazy. And I would stand behind their house by that generator and just like look at the woods that were like, it's about 600 yards away across a snowy field. And like, I was like, there's spirits in those woods. Just like, and night
shit.
after night, I would just look at the woods and you'd hear weird sounds. And then
Reggie's playing something.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
that was accident, but that was the trailer for The Loved Ones. I was just going to show a little bit of it, no sound, but I could put sound in if you guys want, but I don't know where. Jeez,
That was cool.
I don't know where it's at. Where is it?
So yeah, I mean, we can just move on to like the next topic. We talked about childhood movies that traumatized us. What's we've kind of been talking about newer horror movies, so I wouldn't mind hearing what everybody likes for newer horror movies.
I feel like I haven't seen too much.
Well, when I say newer, I mean like the last decade, because that's what I mean by newer. I just mean not in the 80s and the 90s. You give me even like 2002, and I'd still throw it in the newer category because I'm just ridiculous. But
Can you guys hear it now?
Like, new-ish.
Nah.
Mm-mm.
Well, you guys can get the context.
Ow.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Ow, yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, no sound needed.
Oh, dude, this reminds me of what is that Stephen King movie with
Misery.
Misery, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like Misery, but like a
Yeah.
new age version, I guess.
Did that screen grab just say the best date movie this
Yeah,
year?
yeah, it did.
Holy shit. That's
You know, it's
hilarious.
kind of weird, man. I think this was the last movie I saw, and I kind of like, I don't want to say I checked out of horror movies, but I was like, damn, dude, like, what am I watching?
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is
looks
definitely some
like a
indie
barrel of
horror.
laughs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a.
What the fuck was that?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
Just
watch
slide
this.
that in there.
This
It's like
is,
wrong turn shit.
You know
Is
what?
this in Australia, Reggie?
CAG is adding it to Plex, right? CAG, you put it on Plex?
I'm gonna put it on Plex, but there was a movie that Joel asked me to put on Plex a couple, like 2 years back. Is the grossest like movie I've ever seen, and he won't even watch it to this day, and I cannot remember what it is. I thought you would remember, Reggie, but it's either a Japanese or a Korean movie, and like it's so bad, dude. Like the movie
Zombies?
it's something where I don't know if there's zombies, but like something happens where they get crazed or whatever, and they're running over to see like just killing people, and they're just killing people in like the most worst ways. I just cannot remember the
that
name
sounds
of the
familiar.
and Joel is the one who exposed me to it, and to this day I dislike that he ever exposed me to this movie. It was just that over the top and just that disgusting, and they just did some things in there that I just would have never thought that somebody would put in a movie. It's ridiculous.
Do you guys think that, you know, that we're getting older, that we're just like desensitized from these movies? Because, you know, back when I was younger, I could watch this stuff and have some laughs, like, oh, that's nothing. But now I'm like, oh man, that
Yeah,
could
and I
be
think
like,
that's.
that
I
could be
think
so many.
that's why we get these extreme, insane, disgusting, crazy, degenerate, you know, horrible, gory things now, is because the people who make those movies are completely desensitized from all the horror movies they grew up with. So now Terrifier is all they can have left. They're like, I don't know, what if we put them in a blender and then we pour salt in their eyes and then put gas in them and light them on fire?
Yeah, coming up with all kind of different ideas for something that's gross, man. It's like, dang, really?
I think it's like a challenge to like where is too far? When have we crossed the line? Let's get as close as we can get. I think that's how a lot of like them are now. It's like how close can we get to before it's like, oh, this is bad. No.
I honestly feel because cinema is art, people will have the argument right away. There is no line because it's art.
Okay.
Well,
you know, I've seen people say that about like the Terrifier scenes in particular. I was watching a YouTube like debate on like I forgot what channel it was, but they were like, when is too far? And they were the general consensus was, well, it's art, and generally speaking, you know, it's fictitious, it's not real, so like there is no line, you know, it's the line is you know, it's up to your own, you know, judgment, essentially. You know.
Well, I think the show The Boys went too far.
That show's pretty gross,
the scene where
I don't know, I like it.
where he shrunk down and went into the dude's penis.
Yep.
And then grew up big and exploded. That was just too far. They showed too much.
Episode of the third season too, man. That was way too. Yeah.
I don't think anything has gone that far. I think that's the farthest you can go in cinema. It was just the most outrageous thing I've ever seen, needless thing to be on television ever.
I love The Boys. The comic book is like actually wasn't really popular. You know, they just oh gosh, that scene.
Yeah, that was the worst, dude. I don't think anything tops that. I just think that was needless and excessive.
That's all just cheap thrills and shock value, though. That's not like good. Like to me, good horror movies are like the actual creepy ones that like make you uncomfortable.
Yes,
they're not just gory and disgusting. Like anybody can be disgusting. Like you could just make a video of someone taking a dump on a table, and I'd be like, "Gross, thanks, you got me." I didn't want to see that. You got me, but that doesn't mean it's like you have your talent and that's good.
That's a Terrifier.
Like, a good movie is like you're sitting there and you're like, you're creeped out and you feel anxious, and like you said, like it builds the tension, it builds the anxiety, it makes you feel uncomfortable. Like those are. I'd much prefer like something like the Babadook. Have you guys seen that movie?
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Fantastic horror movie if you've never seen it.
Good movie.
because it's like very creepy and psychologically like interesting, and like it builds it. It's like it's about this like single mom who has this kid who's like special needs, and the kid's just a nightmare, and he's constantly screaming and yelling and being a total puke and causing problems and blah blah blah. And like after 30 minutes, you are just as stressed as this lady in this movie. You're like, this freaking kid, man, like, you're going crazy. You know what I mean? Like, and it's so good, and that's the type of horror movie that I think is like good horror, like artistic horror, like that, you know. Like I'm not like the super shocking, disgusting stuff. It's fun, but it's not good. It's not good. Anyone can do that. Literally anybody can do that, in my opinion.
Something to consider when movies push the line like that is once a movie's broken that line, all these other directors, if they want to make that impact, they have to do the same thing, and they have to push the boundaries even further. So we get these movies like Human Centipede that people will watch just because they're told that it's pushed the line, and that sold really well, and it sold enough to make a sequel and a third one, you know, because it just was a crazy movie that pushed these lines that people were like, I have to see this.
I mean, there's so much stuff. Like, what's that film? The worst one of all time? A Serbian film?
No, yeah, oh my God, yeah, that movie got banned.
I'm like, man, that's okay.
I guess that's the line. Is that the line?
That's the furthest anybody's pushed the line is that I know of. For
Didn't like real stuff happen in that movie though? Like,
there was so much gross stuff in that movie, man. It's insane.
They couldn't tell what was real and what was fake at like a point. Yeah, no.
Yeah, but I like the understated horror, like Joe said, when it's just tense. Did anybody see the movie Oculus?
No.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that was the mirror one, right?
So it's just like you just black out. Like, so you look at this mirror and then you wake up and a bunch of crap has happened and you don't know what happened. Yeah. And there's a scene where they're like trying to film the mirror and you watch them just like start doing crazy stuff and they don't even realize it's happening. That to me is what is so scary because you're not in control of what you're doing. Right? Like it's you. Like you can't trust anybody but yourself. And then all of a sudden that trust is gone. I think that's where like the real scariness is. You can always like cloister yourself away. Like if there's a killer, you're like, I could hide. If there's a ghost, you're like, I could pray, you know, whatever. But it's like, if you can't trust yourself, what do you do about that? Right. Now, I think that's one of the things that makes The Shining so interesting.
Yeah. It's a good one.
Right on my way.
Well, even like the Wolfman explored that. The Wolfman explored that tremendously. You know, I mean, even the remake where Anthony Hopkins' character goes into like in like chains at night whenever there's like a full moon and stuff, and he's locked away. It's like because you can't trust yourself, you know.
Yeah.
So I found the movie after looking while everybody's talking. It's called The Sadness. It came out in 2001. I think the Japanese name is Cube. It's Kubei, but it's called The Sadness. Dude, just like I don't even know why Joe even told me to get this movie for him, and then he doesn't even watch it. He tells me to watch it, and then he says he can't watch it, and I'm like, why did you have me watch this? This movie is just like it's called The Sadness, and it came out in 2001, and it's just
it's sad.
No, it's horrible. it's
a movie, man. Like you could somebody watching this movie and say, "Oh, it's just a sad movie. You should check it out." And like they would go into it like not knowing.
I wouldn't even do that to anybody. Like, you know, if you're sensitive to certain things, just don't watch it.
Yeah.
But it's almost like a zombie movie, but it's like this rage. People catch.
Yeah, kind of like that one we got 24 hours or 28 hours later. It's kind of like that, but just
28 days later.
Something like that, but way worse. Like
way worse,
something like that, but on a whole nother level. And just when they kill people, they try to kill people in the worst way possible. The sickness makes them do it, and it makes them kill people in the worst way possible. So,
So most modern horror movie that we like, right? That's the question.
What? Well, just it doesn't mean most modern, but just a newer one that you would recommend maybe to somebody because, like, much like the video game genre, the horror genre is quite saturated. There are lots and lots and lots.
All first person. Oh well, I got one for you. How about A Quiet Place?
Well, that's a good one.
This is good.
I thought about that one because I just played the game recently. I watched the first movie. I didn't agree with like certain scenes in it, but I said, yeah, this works as a horror movie. This is pretty good, suspenseful. Second one, I thought was okay. I thought that was okay. I think there's another one I haven't seen yet. Maybe
there's a spinoff. That's a prequel.
Yeah, Quiet Place Day One, and you can totally skip that one. That movie is fucking insulting.
So I just looked up the top 10 highest grossing horror movies of all time, and A Quiet Place Day One is the 7th highest grossing of all time. It's been
That's crazy. That's crazy.
It is actually on track to be the biggest and highest grossing horror movie.
See, Nick, you're wrong.
No, I'm not wrong. Just because you're the loudest doesn't mean you're the smartest.
No,
okay?
I agree. It wasn't good. It wasn't. That's shocking.
You know what its fatal mistake was?
If you're saying it too, man, then I may not waste my time with it. But no, you know what?
It really wasn't.
So the first two movies, the whole reason that the first two movies are good is because you don't see the monsters, and it builds that tension the entire time because you don't see them. Like that's like a huge.
It's like Signs.
The old school horror philosophy.
Oh, like Signs, yeah.
Yeah. Old school horror philosophy was like you're never supposed to show the monster right away because you're supposed to let the audience member imagine whatever the scariest goddamn thing in their mind is. So to each person, when you make a noise and the monster comes, that monster looks like whatever scares you the most because it's not been like
building up that tension, right?
The third movie is just like, here they are, they're big spider things, and you're like, oh, cool, it's a CGI monster I've seen 1,000 times.
Well, Joe, another game as well.
The protagonist doesn't even care if they fucking live or die of the third movie. So it's like, what's the fucking point?
They're just like throwaway characters.
At the end of the movie, it's just a waste of fuck. Oh my god. Anyway,
so these characters ain't gonna be in no sequel. Okay.
No.
What scares me about that series is I wouldn't survive because I'm very gassy.
Joe's got IBS. He's dead.
You just everybody be like quiet. You just say like, oh shit, I'm sorry. I ate too much cheese.
Oh man,
it's the dairy.
Bro, just fucking throw something. That's what irritates me the most with like horror movies. Is just like,
you don't want logic. You should never
just be a little smart. Just be a little smart.
Well, Joe, what you were saying, the build-up is important because I thought about a game he did that. Resident Evil 3 and Nemesis did the build-up where you didn't know what Nemesis looked like, but you know he was terrifying when you ran to Brad. So, that's very important, man. The build-up is you don't show the monster in the beginning. You show them. You let us imagine what it is, and then all of a sudden, surprise and boom, or whatever.
Stephen King, like he's the king. He's so good at that stuff. Like he knows how to make like the fog. You're like, what's in the fog? I don't know stuff. But then he does. I was gonna say earlier is that that like RNG Gamer was pointing out about that Oculus movie, like movies that make you question your own sense of self and what you would do and put you in that situation. Like that movie, The Fog, like we're at the end. I don't know if I don't want to ruin it, but that ending is just like, ugh. And it's one of those ones where you're like,
The Mist.
Would you do that? Would you?
The Mist.
Excuse me. Why I keep saying
Fog? Oh, dude.
Fog's a totally different movie that came out
with Thomas Jane. Yeah.
The Mist was good. The ending was like, dang, really?
Oh,
come on, man.
But that's the whole thing.
Just a few more minutes, and it would have been like, that.
It was like 30 seconds, dude.
Yeah, it was so quick. He hated himself too.
It would have been perfect if he like hysterically started laughing at the end and just cut to the credits.
Yep. I feel like that's the way with most horror movies, though. Like the ending thing that they reveal is like that was it. Like Jeepers Creepers, I felt the same thing. I'm like that.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Like what a disappointment. Like so my favorite modern horror movie of all time. The ending was still a little disappointing, but the whole movie was great. Is Event Horizon.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
And they had all
they need to
phobia and everything.
I wish they didn't lose those scenes for that movie because Event Horizon. I mean, what I remember seeing in that movie was just crazy. And
I'll fucking watch it.
If they got it together, like how they really wanted it, it probably would have been one of the craziest horror movies of all time. But I want to ask you guys something this real fast. Do you guys think I Know What You Did Last Summer is a scary movie? At all?
No,
Really?
that's
No.
I Love You in it. And Mike is. That's
It's
good.
honestly more of a thriller movie than anything. It's
It-
it's a murder
okay.
mystery, you know.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
to say that. Well,
It's a whodunit.
it scared me when I was younger because the reveal of the killer was just some normal guy, and he was wearing a slicker and a hook, and that was it. And I was like, damn, that's kind of like crazy because he's just a normal dude. But I don't know, maybe that was
amongst you. Yeah, it's scariest when it's like, oh, it could be my friend, like the whole time just killing.
right,
my
right,
friend.
right.
Yeah, like Scream.
That's why I don't trust anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, that right there.
It's terrifying. Dude's just wearing a slicker and he has a hook. That's it. He's
Yeah,
going
it's
after
Like
people.
Until Dawn is the same kind of thing. Well, without spoiling anything, it's like, okay.
I like it.
Yeah.
So my pick for modern horror, if I was going to recommend a random modern horror, which isn't, I don't even know how modern it is anymore, but have you guys ever seen *Malignant*?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Wait, no, I haven't. That's on Plex, right, Kai?
It's on Plex, yeah.
I love that movie. I thought it was a wild ride, friends, and it's one of those ones where it's very similar, where like the person, I don't want to ruin it just because it's crazy, but it's got a lot of disturbing imagery. I think it's very creative. I think it takes a couple quick twists and turns, and I just really enjoyed it. I thought it surprised me how good it was. And I just think it has like a very unique attitude about it. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. Like, I felt like I hadn't seen a horror movie quite like that ever.
Well, it's another body horror movie as well.
Yes. I don't know what that means though. What is body horror? I'm honestly, I'm ignorant. I don't know what that term means.
I mean, it's like it's really like the exploitation of the human body, I guess, is the simplest way to put it.
The Hub,
The Fly, Human
Yeah.
Centipede, all those movies are body horror.
Yeah, it's like the scene in American Werewolf in London when he's transforming.
Yeah.
That's considered body horror when when it changes so drastically and so like gory.
That's one of my favorite movies of all time. Just so you know, American Werewolf in London. I think
Oh,
it's absolutely
cool.
just not even just horror movies. It's just one of my favorite movies of all time.
What about the sequel, Paris? I
Yeah.
like that one.
Whatever,
Bro, best CGI ever.
It's it is a movie, and I would watch it again, but it is nothing on the first one. The first one, it's like that perfect blend of horror comedy that I always look for.
Yeah.
Where, like, I don't know if you're unfamiliar with the lore, if you turn into a werewolf and you murder someone, their ghost haunts you until you die, basically.
Yeah.
And so he ends up murdering his like best friend, or his best friend ends up getting murdered by a different werewolf. I don't even remember, but his best friend is just like a zombie corpse who's like hanging out.
It was kind of in his ear the whole movie.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I thought that was fantastic. And that scene that you mentioned, Rad Bash, is absolutely incredible.
Oh, it's good. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
amazing.
it still is almost to this day.
Werewolf transformation scene.
And it's all practical.
Yeah.
Yes, practical. Practical is like top tier. You can't get better than that.
Another movie I just thought of, It Follows. How'd you guys
I
like
was
that
going to
one?
say that It Follows is so good.
It
Yeah.
is a good one.
So that one
I like
didn't
it.
do
They're making a
for me.
sequel finally for it, so we'll be getting that next year.
It's about STDs.
It's about STDs.
I don't know.
It's a
It-
slow
it's just-
burn, just like most STDs.
Well,
Don't fuck around and find out. I don't know what to tell you. You know, like,
well, it drove that girl crazy. You know,
It did.
that was the trippy part of that movie. Like that girl was just terrified because that thing could look like anything. So, you know, the only way you could like notice it is by its actions. It would stare at you and try to get at you if you were like alone.
Yeah,
I thought that was a pretty good one.
Wow.
the exact counter opposite to It Follows, which is like a slow, plotting, methodical horror movie. Sometimes you want like a balls to the wall, crazy horror movie. My favorite one that I've seen in the last few years is Train to Busan.
Oh,
that is a wild movie.
I watched that. That's a good movie.
Yeah, that's my pick.
really good.
That's my pick. for a
What's the
modern
premise of that one? I've never seen it.
What?
These guys are on
Yeah,
a train.
what?
It's a South Korean movie. They're just on a train. It's just everybody on the train, like on the way, I guess, to or home from work. And a zombie outbreak happens while they're all on the freaking train. And so, like, it's just them trying to get off the train or going from stop to stop to try to get out of the city.
Cool.
And they don't really know what's happening. Like, they get off the train and then, like, there's like all this craziness on the platforms, and they get back on the train, and then like the zombies they're sprinting zombies. They're not slow.
No, those are the worst.
Oh,
They run
yeah.
like
No,
full
thank
out,
you.
and the zombies are almost so fast that they can like beat them to the next stop.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wow,
like, they're trying to
dude.
get ahead. So there's a lot of places where like they get to the end of the line and they've got to like run through a subway platform to try to get to the next one.
thank you,
Anyway, it's
Rob.
awesome, but it's like a
Rob.
zombie
How's
movie.
it
It's
going, man?
like a kung fu movie.
Hey,
It's like a
Rob.
hardcore
Hell
movie.
yeah.
Mr. Rob.
Rob, what's up, bro?
That guy's the
Thank you
worst.
for the donation, my friend. Very
He
cool.
said that guy's the worst.
Rob's
Yeah,
like
Train
the
to
best guy
Busan was
ever.
crazy.
So that
Oh,
sounds
snap.
sick, man.
just
I like
finished-
movies that have like like what they're in is the set piece is like a part of the movie, like is the character and stuff like that. Those are
Check it out. You'll love it. You haven't seen Train to Busan. It's fantastic.
It's really good.
I will
Really good.
definitely check it out.
I just saw.
I want to ask you guys about horror movies that have a true story setting. Have you got any favorites? that are
Yeah,
based
so
on a true story?
I'll go with that one because to me, that's what I visualize like horror, like something that could be real or something that will like creep you out. So
Right.
the one I think that probably shook me up a little bit was the Amityville Horror. It's the remake, I guess. Not the because I don't think I've seen the original, but I saw
the original's
that.
dope,
About
dude.
that cursed house?
The
Yeah,
Ryan
yeah,
Reynolds
I-
one.
I don't know.
Yes, that's the
Yeah,
remake.
he was in it.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
That was
2005.
in-
Pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was that one. That to me, that
The,
was
the
good.
original's
That kind of messed me
fantastic
up a little
too.
bit.
Just so you know, I highly recommend the old one too. It's
Yeah, with
Okay.
James Brolin, Josh Brolin's dad. Ugh.
Amityville
Check it
2 is amazing as well. Because that's
Mm.
so I don't know if you're familiar with the plot, but the plot is like this kid goes crazy and kills his family, and then the
Mhm.
family in the house is supposedly haunted. And these people buy the house, and the first movie is what happened to them while they were in the house, supposedly.
Mhm.
That's the basic plot. The second film is like shows you the story about the kid going crazy.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's
All right.
really good. So Amityville 2 is really good, and then they start to get ridiculous. And then there's one I remember in particular. I can't remember. It's like Amityville 5 or some shit like that. It's about like a clock that's like
Yeah, that's the 92 one. Yeah.
it's so bad, dude. It's so bad. They get worse, but I always like that one a lot. But it's based on a true story. It's a book too. It's pretty good.
Cag,
There's
you
one
were
I really
about to say
enjoy that's
something.
based on a true story in Australia, and over here it's always talked about, it's just, especially when people go hitchhiking, and that's Wolf Creek. And then
Oh,
you
yeah,
relate
yeah.
to it so much because it's living here. It's a real place, and it really happened. And there are so many stories of backpackers and stuff where they've been murdered and things like that. So yeah, you can relate to that. I love the movie. That was great.
Yeah, Cag was about to say something before the whole thing switched over.
No, yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
A movie that I just recently saw. It's not. I don't think it's really a horror. It says it's a thriller, and I was looking through my Plex movies and stuff that we just recently watched. But and it's a new movie. It just came out in 2024. But I thought it was pretty good, and it's a thriller. It's called Blink Twice. I don't know if you guys seen that yet.
Oh,
But Blink Twice is the most messed up movie ever, dude. Like, just you got to watch it. And
Is that
when
the
you find
Channing
out-
Tatum movie?
It has Channing Tatum in it.
Yes.
I just
Okay,
looked it up.
yeah.
I
Oh,
thought
yeah.
I heard of that.
When you
Well, if
find
Magic
out
Mike's
what's
in there,
going
I'm sold.
down, when you find out what's going down in this movie, you're gonna be like, "Yo, this
Yeah,
is
like-
crazy." So
He's like some like millionaire or something like that. They go to an island.
yes,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah. Okay, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That just came out about a year ago, right?
No,
No, it just came out like this year, literally,
Oh,
like
wow.
maybe a couple months ago, like 2 or 3 months ago, and it was a good movie, man. I
It's on
really
Plex?
enjoy it. It is on Plex. Everything
Yeah,
is on
Directed
Plex.
by
That's right,
Zoe
man.
Kravitz, right?
Make sure, you know.
This
Yeah,
guy's promoting.
Zoe
Like, you get
Kravitz
paid by
wrote
these
it and directed and
Black-
starred in it.
whatever.
Say that again, Joe.
I'm like, I think he's getting sponsored by Plex. He keeps bringing it up. He's like, "Is this? Can you buy it here? Is it 99 cents?"
No,
I
Joe.
think-
Joe. I mean, Reggie just loves Plex. I put
I
him
guess
on my
so. That's
server.
what I'm
and
saying. He's like he's promoting for him.
he's like, yo,
Well, I don't have to
love
worry
it.
about any streaming services ever again because Cag, like, he puts it all on his Plex, and it's like, dude, hey, Cag, is this on there? Yep.
Let's
Oh,
go.
or he says, no, I'll add it right now. It's like, it's amazing. Like, I don't have to subscribe to no services anymore. None of that. It's just great, dude. Like, I canceled my Amazon about a year
It'll be
ago.
in the comments, guys. His Plex.
Damn.
So, link to his Plex. Has
Yeah.
anybody not gone for their?
Yeah.
Who's not
Um,
gone?
Oh, Red Bash, go ahead.
Red Bash.
no, go ahead, Nick. I'll go after you.
Oh, all right.
He's gonna say the same movie you're gonna say now.
Right?
Right.
No, there's a couple, and I'll run through them real fast. The first one would be, it's a cliche, but Paranormal Activity. That movie.
The first one was
Oh
good.
Yeah,
I
the
like
first
that.
one was really good.
I'll even argue that the second one was better than the first one. But I'll just talk about the first one. The first one did such a good job at making the house it is a haunted house movie, right? So it made the house like just absolutely terrifying. It could show you a picture of, or like a shot of the living room, and you're scared because you have no idea what the fuck's gonna happen at all. But then later on, as the movie progresses, when they throw the flower on the floor and you see the footprints, you're like, what the fuck? Stop it. And the movie whoever mixed the audio in that film deserves like 50% of the purse. They did such a good job at creating an ambiance within that film of just like picking up all the right audio cues. It was so good. It was so terrifying. There's a lot of like found footage movies out there. Quarantine was one of them that I think came out right around the same time. That was like kind of on the same, like found footage shit. And then there was Cloverfield as well. Yep. But this one in particular, it was just so freaking scary because you felt like you were watching their tapes. Like that was it. And then again too, like I mean, I'm Christian, dude. Like the demonic stuff, Ouija board, all this and that. Like I don't fuck with it. And I watched the first 3 in the movie theaters, and each and every time, me and my bros who went to go see the movie, we had a sleepover after the midnight release of every Paranormal Activity 1 through 3, and we would stay up together and play Halo or Rock Band or something just to like shake off the bad vibes. You know what I mean? They were scary movies, dude. They were absolutely terrifying. But
I feel like you can't mention Paranormal Activity without bringing up the Blair Witch Project, just because of what that did.
Oh
back
yeah,
in the day.
Oh yeah, cameras, man. I just can't do the shaky cameras,
dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the Blair Witch.
Yeah,
I was in high school when that came out, and before they announced the movie, they did a documentary on like the History Channel about like the Blair Witch. Like they built it up, and that was promotion for the movie, and we didn't know it.
Yeah.
So we went into the movie actually thinking it was real found
and
footage.
the whole website.
Oh yeah.
Too. At the time, like
Missing person ads, everything. They went all out. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
it was crazy.
Well, you couldn't do that today because of social media. It just wouldn't work.
Yeah. But honestly, my top pick for this whole topic would be Sinister. I felt that movie shook me to the bone. I don't know what it was about that movie, man, but it is so fucking scary. I'm getting goosebumps right now, like talking about it. I remember coming home from the movie theaters and walking through, like I walked in through the garage, you pass through the laundry room, and then you're in this big high vaulted ceiling living room. And I had to go upstairs, and the stairs had gaps in between each step. And in my mind, I was like, something's gonna fucking grab me as I'm walking up through the steps, dude.
Oh yeah.
So I sprinted up those steps and then launched onto my bed in the room, and I was like, turn the light on real fast, dude. It's very rare that a movie will do that to me, like nowadays. I don't know, man. Sinister, the first one, anyways, was just so freaking bone chilling.
Yep.
Nice, dude. Radbash?
What about you, Radbash? What was the modern movie that you really love?
So, I mean, I watch a lot of horror movies, but like this is gonna sound really stupid. I love a good gimmick, obviously. Like that's like a whole thing for me. So, are you guys familiar with Winnie the Pooh?
I know what you're talking about.
So, Blood and Honey 2. I'm not even talking about the first one. The second one was so good.
My God.
I loved it. It was so good. And then they're doing like a whole like MCU style, like the Poonaverse.
Yeah.
It's like you got Bambi now and Peter
What did you
Pan.
call it?
It's the Poonaverse. It is
That's
called
what they
the
actually are
Poonaverse.
calling
It
it.
is called the Poonaverse.
It's a different name.
Yeah.
They have literally mapped out like a 2-year
A
plan.
whole thing. Yeah, it's crazy. I
It's gonna
love that movie
introduce
though.
like Peter Pan and Bambi,
Bambi,
and
Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty. Yeah, they got a
Calvin
whole
and
thing.
Hobbes
going.
better be in there.
Calvin and Hobbes.
If you get
But-
everybody,
Dude, it was so good. Like they retcon like the first movie in a sense of like the first movie was a movie, so it wasn't like because Pooh changes, like he doesn't look the same, he looks completely different. But yeah, I love that movie. It was like top notch. Like, it was the perfect amount of gore, and then like the story was actually good. You would think it's like I love goofy horror movies, but you would think it's just one of those bad movies. It's really not. It's really good.
there's a
Piglet-
Grinch movie
Piglet
like
is
that. too.
badass too. They-
Yeah, yeah.
The sequel.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
talking about the first or the sequel?
It was the
I've
sequel,
never-
the
I
second
haven't
one.
seen the second one. I
Okay,
haven't
the
seen
second
that
one. Yeah, that's the one. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it,
Yeah,
wait,
no.
Cag, is that on?
Yes, it is.
It's on Plex, baby.
I'm writing this down,
On
man.
Plex.
So.
You need to drop that link.
I need to get in there so I can stop paying all these subscriptions.
just
Has anyone seen the mean one, the Grinch horror version?
I know of it. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, that one's like akin to Winnie the Pooh, well, like Blood and Honey. Yeah.
Mm.
It's on my list because of that. Like I was like, oh, it's the Grinch, like killing people. Hell yeah! Like I can't find it on anything.
Yeah.
So I wanted to shift gears a little bit, if you guys don't mind, since we are somewhat of, I think we video games. Are we talking about video games on this show?
PlayStation collector
not
pod?
yet, huh?
Something like that. Something
What's
like
a
that.
video
right?
game?
Yeah.
Sort of like when I asked about what game, like what movie traumatized you as a kid. I was just curious, like, what was the first game that you ever played that actually scared you?
Oh, I got one.
What game actually? freaked you out? It doesn't even have to be a
like-
horror game. So, I'm just
Like scared you
curious.
throughout, or the scary moments?
I mean, like the first time you played a game and you were like uncomfortable and you shut the game off, like it
Yep.
scared you.
I ain't never shut it off, man. I went through it, but
Nope.
I'll kind of start this one. For me,
He's a real man.
Do it.
it was the first Silent Hill. I feel like that game was cursed. I mean,
It
like,
was so
seriously, I
good.
still remember the night I beat that game. My parents went to a party, so I was at home alone. I had the speakers on, so I had that full sound effect. And I remember getting to that part where it's like nowhere, and that part creeped me out so bad. And then I was on the track to getting the bad ending too, so that made it even worse. But just that game's unnerving where you have the radio and it sounds like a school bell. I guess they couldn't get the sound effect right like they wanted. So it's not static, it's like a bell ringing. So it's just really like it's just horrible. Every environment in that game, it feels like it's cursed. And the way you meet up with other characters, I mean, you'll meet up with them for a little bit. If they go through a door or something like that, you open that door to look for them, they're already gone. So the town is like messing with you. And it's just the
Definitely
whole
makes you
story.
isolated.
The whole story of the guy trying to rescue his daughter makes it more compelling. You're compelled to play because you're trying to rescue his daughter and everything. But I have to say, Silent Hill Part 1 still one of the scariest games of all time. Cinematic camera angles, scary monsters. The school was the first haunted place you go to. Terrifying. But my scariest part in that game was probably the sewers, because you're in the sewers with a flashlight trying to like find the exit, and it's so like you just went out of there, and it's just horrible. But yeah, I would say Silent Hill Part 1 is the first game that I played that I just didn't really want to go back to, and I still haven't really done it to this day. I have all my save points. Got to go back to the points I remember, so I don't have to play through the game again. But yeah, Silent Hill Part 1 definitely still the scariest game of all time for me.
The best thing about Silent Hill 1, because that's what I was going to say too, is that they put things in there just to scare you that didn't need to be there. Do you remember in, like, I think the hotel where you're in like the lobby and there's this like see-through baby kind of just stumbling and it's making your radio go off, but you can't interact with it. It's just there to scare you.
Mhm.
It was so good. And like,
Yep.
if I can go next, because
No, go ahead.
so that scared the crap out of me. It was my buddy and I like trying to, no, you play. It's one of those things. But,
Yeah, it's so much so fun to watch someone play one than
Yes.
actually
Yeah.
be the one playing.
yeah. So Fatal Frame scared the
Oh,
original. the best.
yeah.
That's when they like perfected the whole like I'm gonna make you feel, hear, and see this at the same time to make you scared. And they do the same kind of thing, like, oh, you're walking upstairs and a ball just drops down, or like, the sight of an organ behind a lighted thing. It was incredible, and the whole game was just fear-inducing. Scariest game I've ever played, hands down. Better than the sequels.
It's awesome. What about you, Elisa?
So we were more of a Resident Evil household. We did
Ooh,
we
I'm
did
just kidding. You're fine.
we did rent Silent Hill from Blockbuster. But like I don't know if we just didn't get it, you know, like didn't really understand it, but for us it was just all
It's pretty cryptic.
and,
Yeah.
you know. But so Resident Evil, we got that when it came out. And my oldest brothers would play it only at nighttime. Like I'm not sure why
necessary, yeah.
why they played it at
To
nighttime.
scare their little sister.
I don't know if I was supposed to be in bed or something or what, but like I wanted to stay up and watch it, you know. So like when they play it, it was all the lights were off in the house. It was just the TV. And
sound design is so good on those early games
so
too.
and we had a sweet like surround sound system too.
Just the clocks and the doors creaking and everything, and there's no
But
music.
The big thing for me that like got me is the dogs jumping through the window for the first time.
Yeah.
Scared
Classic.
me to
Yeah.
death. And to add to the ambience, we had a very mischievous cat that liked to kind of play tricks on people. And I kid you not, while we were playing it, we were all like serious, you know, like while I was watching, but they were playing. The cat just like ran across like all of our laps on the couch. And it's just like, you know, you're already on edge anyways, like trying to survive.
Cat's just reading the room, having fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Right.
he was fun.
And because of that, all she ever wants me to play are horror games.
Yeah.
Like, RPGs or horror games, like that's all she wants.
I'm not as big of a horror movie buff, but I will watch like the Korean or Japanese films if they're on like Netflix or whatever. But like horror games is where it's at for me.
Awesome.
Man,
You should
then,
watch Tokyo Shock Police if you like Asian movies.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess
Tokyo
it's not,
Shock-
you know,
What it's called.
torture porn or whatever.
Tokyo Gore Police, excuse me. Sorry.
Tokyo Gore Police, got it.
Yeah. That's
Have you
the-
seen Zom 100?
I have not.
Oh yeah, the anime.
Oh, and the live action as well.
Oh no, I've only been watching the anime.
Oh, it's so good. I love both. Both the anime is like absolutely amazing. But
That's fun because of all the like colors instead of blood. It's just like neon colors for blood.
yeah, it's like paintball mode. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Radbash, what about you? What's the first game that scared you?
Oh man. I don't remember the first. I mean, like all I do is play horror games, so like I can't really remember the first time. I can remember like a significant one.
Sure.
Like it was a Silent Hill game. It was Homecoming, I want to say is the game. Now it wasn't the game itself that scared me. So it was my best friend and my little brother and I were all playing, and right when Pyramid Head comes in, the power in the house went out. So everything went out, and we looked outside, and there was a fog rolling in. And so
What the hell?
I'm thinking the game's great. Yeah, it was like the scariest moment. Like it was just perfect. It was perfect. But yeah, like it wasn't even so much the game itself, but like that terrified me. And it took me a while to go back to that game because I was convinced the game was cursed. And like I just avoided it. I was like, this game is gonna get me killed if I keep playing it. Like, yeah. So it wasn't really so much the game, more so like the experience. But that makes a good horror game whenever you can like feel it in the real world.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the perfect time to play.
That's awesome. What about you, RNG?
PS2 air seems like to be the strong air for like a horror games. I feel.
Agreed.
When I was younger, I had played some early horror stuff. Like I played Alone in the Dark on the 3DO, but mine is
nice.
is Elisa. We rented Resident Evil 1, and when the dog jumped in through the window, we shut off the console. And I will say, it scared me
It's
so
that
bad.
dog, yes.
It scared me so badly that I did not play another horror game for, this is honest to God, the truth, 20 years. Like, I was just like, I don't like horror. I just don't like it. That dog did it. That was it. And now I love it. But that it actually scared me and my friend so badly. We couldn't handle it. I remember like he ran, so we had the console sitting on the floor. We were sitting there eating pizza on like a Friday night. I remember his hand going in the pizza in front of us. Like he put his hand to crawl to the console to shut it off. And I was like, I'm with you, buddy. Let's watch something more pleasant.
You turn on like the nicest cartoon ever. You're like, that's it. I just need to go watch something silly. And
Yeah, like I think we put on like it was Friday night. We probably put on maybe some Nickelodeons, like Are You Afraid of the Dark or something like that. Like little scary, but not as much. And we're like, we're tough. We're tough.
Men.
Yeah. But yeah, that was that. I've spoken to a lot of people that have that same experience. That dog jumping in, they're like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Because you never played anything like that before, and you were already struggling at that point, and that was just so insurmountable.
Tank controls and all that stuff.
Yeah.
it was already hard to figure out how to walk around, much less survive and not be scared. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, especially if like you go into that game back then not even knowing it was supposed to be a horror game or a scary game. You just think it's an action game. You got guns, some zombies. Yeah, all right, this should be fun.
The cover of the game shows a guy standing there holding a gun.
Yeah,
like it looked like Doom.
Sure, yeah,
exactly.
Like Doom.
That's what they were going for.
And then there's like this CGI like opening horror movie scene. And we're like, man, we're gonna go be shooting zombies like crazy, and then you're just like wandering around confused. Like it took us hours to even get to the part with the dog. It's like 10 minutes into the game. It took us like hours to get there.
And like the best voice acting ever, you know.
We loved it. I was into cheesy stuff even then, but yeah, I didn't play
Master
another
of
horror game.
Unlock.
I did not play another horror game till the PS4 was
We're
already
almost
out.
a Jill sandwich.
What about you, Keg?
So it definitely number one to be Silent Hill. The dead babies in Silent Hill just creeped me out. Dude.
Knives. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I could not deal with that. I never beat the game. Turned it
And
off.
their
It was
sounds,
done.
little laughs. Yeah.
Yes. I turned it off. Never went back to it. Still haven't beat it to this day. I just bought Silent Hill 2 on PS5. I'm trying to play through that. But yeah, just that type of stuff, man. Just I'm not down with. And I'm playing now. Another one that's creeping me out, and I'm trying to get through it. Is the Blair Witch Project on Xbox?
Oh man,
yo, this
you and your dog.
game, yes, you and the dog and the flashlight. You gotta like the things run through the forest, and you have to use the flashlight to shine on them so they don't kill you.
Yeah,
dude, the creepiest freaking game ever. I played it for like 10 minutes, turned it off. I said, all right, I'll come back to this like next year because
That's
it's killing me right now.
Wow.
That's awesome. What about you, Nerdy Nick?
So this is gonna make me sound like an absolute freaking baby, but when I was
mine's
little,
bad too. Don't worry, mine's. These guys are putting like scary actual games. Mine's pathetic in comparison.
yeah. So I got like two here. So one of them, and they're both when I was a little kid. I grew up in a Genesis household, and whenever I would go over to my uncle's house, he had a SNES, and he had Zombies Ate My Neighbors, and I saw the cover for the game, and I was like, "This looks freaking cool. I want to play this." And so the first time I ever played it was like we're at my uncle's house late at night after like a barbecue or whatever, and I went into the second living room where the SNES was, and he was like, "Yeah, here, let me set you up." Put the game in. Well, the room, like the light wasn't on because like the kitchen kind of close but far away-ish light was kind of going into the living room, and I turn on the game, and you hear when you press start or whatever, and then it goes into the intro scene and the music and everything. It freaked me out like so hard. I hit the restart right away, and then I was like, okay, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. And then I pressed start again, and I just felt like chills up my spine after I pressed it. I was like, you know what? I'll play it another day. And then another one, dude, it was so stupid. But the intro to Mortal Kombat 2 used to scare the shit out of me as a kid.
That's awesome.
I don't know what it was, but it just scared the shit out of me as a kid. It was such a departure from the first game. And this it really amped up. Like if we're talking about like pushing the lines, it really pushed the line with home conversions for the Mortal Kombat series, and the level in particular was, you know, the haunted woods, you know, with the faces and everything. I would purposefully just like button mash to get through that level as fast as I could, just get through that stage, because I hated it. I hated it. There was one time in particular, dude, I was so young, you know, I'm 33, so you know, you just do the math. When that game came out on the Genesis, I rented it. I had my mom sit in the room with me as I went through that stage, and I was like, "Thanks. All right, you can go now. Bye bye." You know, I just needed you for this.
Yeah. For 5 minutes.
Yeah.
What about you, Marcus?
So nothing really scared me, but it kind of like tripped me out. Like you know, one of those moments you turn the game off. And that was when I was like streaming. I was playing Castlevania Lord of Shadows. I'm streaming it, and I'm really funny about, you know, the devil and spirits and stuff like that. It was just one part, and I'm literally like mid-stream. I was like, you know what, I'm turning this off. Like it's too much for me. I just didn't even feel right. So that's the closest I got to, I guess, being scared. But it was one of the ones I shut it off. I never played that game again.
Was it like a scene where like some Latin was being said or what?
No, well, it probably was, because it was definitely like some weird language, and I don't know if somebody was like trying to do like a seance or something like that. I was like, you know what, this is a lot. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even like this. So I completely shut it off.
Yeah.
Never went back to it. Game's long gone now. Yeah, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. You know what I mean? But scared, but you know, I'm really funny about, you know, when people start talking about like the devil and spirits and stuff. I'm not a fan.
Marcus, what if they remake it for the Wii? Would you buy it?
You'd be obligated to.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I'm going to play it, but
everyone you leave sealed stays on the wall.
Yeah. No, I don't think that one's on the Wii. I know it is a Castlevania game, but I don't think it's that one.
Right. See, Marcus is smart. Marcus is the kind of guy who needs to be in like an Evil Dead movie where someone finds the book and he's like, "Nope, stop it right now," and then it just goes to
back.
Yeah,
you know.
I never recommend.
Yeah,
I never recommend reading a book bound in human.
We're not doing that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Please.
Biggsy, what about you, man? Got any games that scared the crap out of you when you were younger? What was your first game?
I was struggling to think. I don't think I was allowed to play any horror games or had interest in when I was a kid. I know when I went to friends' houses, one friend had a Ouija board and we played that, and that scared the shit out of me.
Bro, what the fuck is wrong with you?
A weird friend.
Stuff like that. I'm not with it. I'm not with it.
I had like no filter, no hesitation on that, dude. I'm
Nick
sorry.
just jumped right in. He was like, "Whoa, hold on."
You just took this too far. We found the line.
Text Biggsy's like,
Oh my
"Hold
God.
on."
Dude, I got fucking pissed off when I saw this on sale at Target. I was like, why? Why are we doing this right now?
Influence the youth young.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was when I played it, so it wasn't until afterwards that I realized, that's what that is. And
Biggs, you didn't play it; it played you.
I do want to add, a lot of modern games they're not necessarily horror games. A lot of games will have jump scares in them. And, you know, there's a lot of games I've played where I didn't expect to actually shit myself. Dark Souls or games like that, or even just, you know, RPGs have jump scares in them these days. So. Plenty of those moments. Joe, what about you, man?
So I've always, I don't know, dude. Like it's hard to. So I've been obsessed with horror my whole life. I grew up in New England, and where I grew up, literally my backyard was a cemetery from like the 1800s. This giant graveyard was like that was in my backyard. That was my yard when I looked out my window.
They're coming
And
to get you, Barbara.
If I told you about my mother, she like was always into horror. And she was always into like Irish folklore, like banshees and all those weird gremlins and all leprechauns, all that shit. She loved all that weird stuff like that. Oh, wow. And she used to always love to scare me. And like, there's just something about New England where like horror is like just part of our nature. I don't know. Like we got Salem, Massachusetts with the witch trials. Rob Zombie, that guy grew up like down the street from me. Like, it's just like it's just a thing. I don't know. We're all into that sort of thing. So like you talk about the Ouija boards. Like we were given a Ouija board when I was like 8. I play with the thing all the time. We would screw around, mess with it. And I'll tell you a funny story about the Ouija board. I think my sister was screwing with us, but we were playing with it, and it was like me and my sister and my brother, and it was just the 3 of us downstairs, and we were playing with it, and we were asking it questions and telling it to do stuff. And my sister we were like, we had like a piece of paper. We're like, if you're here, move this paper, move the paper. And the thing was like, I am moving the paper, and nothing was happening. And we're like, but we got to move the paper, and like nothing was happening. And so when we were done, we went upstairs, and the upstairs bathroom, our toilet paper was unrolled halfway down the hallway. Now, I think my sister was just messing with me, and she did it, but she claims she did not do it. She's like, that wasn't me. I swear to God, I didn't do that. So it could have been like our cat, something like that. It could have. There's reasonable explanations, but either way, that was really scary. Like, I was probably one of the last times I was like, I don't want to play with this anymore.
That sounds kind of deep for a sister. Like, dude, to think about it, like the paper. Okay, obviously you're thinking about the paper in front of you. No one's thinking about the toilet paper. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I think you invited something. I think, yeah. No.
He's set on this, yeah.
Dude, we used to have doors slamming and closing all the time, and like the windows in the house weren't open. It wasn't like a
why.
It was all sorts of weird stuff, man. I remember in the middle of the night one time.
Run it on yourself.
And like in the middle of the night, it sounded like something smashed into my window, like a bird hit it or something. But there was no bird or nothing. It was just like boom, and it woke me up. I was like, what the hell was that? Like there was tons of weird stuff that happened in the house. I hated that house, so like it freaked me the hell out. I was so glad we moved. But that's way off topic. The whole point of the game, believe it or not, that like gave me PTSD and scared the crap out of me more than anything first was actually Friday the 13th on the NES. I don't know if you guys played that shit.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Dude, when I was a little kid, man, when Jason showed up, I was like, no! I was terrified. And I couldn't beat him. I was terrible at games. He would always kill me. And it would just like ruin my day. And like it would get me so anxious, and like I would actually be terrified when that thing showed. I would like panic and run, and then, oh man, I don't know. That was like Jason in that game was like my first nemesis from like Resident Evil 3. It was like my first like sense of like there's a game trying to scare me. Like I don't know, I'd never like been experienced that before, which is why I think a lot of people find that Resident Evil 1 is that most impactful thing, because I think that was one of the first games that was like, no, I'm not just trying to, you're not here to have fun. I am trying to scare you.
Yeah.
And that was a totally new idea, really. I mean, there were games, like I said, that kind of tried it, like Friday the 13th, but Resident Evil was the first one that was like, no, this is straight up creepy. And I think I've told this story before, but I do want to talk about this. So if you guys heard the story. So my first experience with that game was my stepbrother had bought a PlayStation, and I never owned one. It was like one of the first times I ever played PlayStation. And he brought it over to my mother's house, and he was playing PlayStation all day long. And not Resident Evil, but he was playing other games. And then all day long, I'm like, can I play? Can I play? And he's like, nope. Being a jerk. And I'm like, oh my God. And he like waited all day long until it was like late at night and it was all dark. And then he's like, you know what? I'll let you play, but you got to play this. He gave me Resident Evil, and he's like, this is what you got to play. And I was like, fuck, I don't care. Let me play. This is amazing. Give me the controller. Like, I just was desperate. And so he's like, all right, cool. And then he's like, he put it on, turned all the lights off, and he left. And I'm like, you're not going to hang out? He's like, no, I'm good. Just go ahead and play. And I'm like, cool, sweet. And like you guys said, I had no idea what this was. It was just a dude with a gun. And I'd played Doom, I played Hexen, I played scary monster games. No worries. So I put it on and I'm playing it, and like, dude, after like 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, I'm like, what is going on? I am really uncomfortable. This is weird. I don't know if I'm enjoying this. Like, what is happening? And like, I didn't even get to the dogs, dude. Like that first scene where the zombie was eating the dude on the ground and it turns around and looks at you, like, that was enough to make me lose my mind. I was like, whoa, oh my God. And of course, like tank controls, I'm just like, run out of all my bullets, die immediately. I couldn't kill one single zombie. I was just like, what the hell is this?
Man.
We were like shutting it off. and like running out and being like, "What did you give me?" And he's like, "Play, right?" I'm like, "You son of a!" I was like so upset, like. But you know, if he told me that's what it was, maybe I would have been a little more prepared for it. But yeah, that was my first experience with that game, and I'll never forget it.
Yeah, I got one more to add real fast, and it's Doom 3. So when that game came out, it was like at the tail end of the original Xbox's life. But number one, it proved that the Xbox could continue, and the 360 wasn't necessarily needed just yet. But anyways, that game, it is like a survival horror game through and through. You're underpowered for most of the game. Ammunition is very sparse. And what I loved in the base game was you either had your flashlight or your weapon. You couldn't have both. And there were times where you were walking through and you hear something and you're like, fuck, what do I really want right now? Do I want my flashlight? Do I want my gun? What am I going to do? And the opening, I would say like 30 minutes to an hour of Doom 3 is absolutely terrifying. You're walking through and you're unarmed, and then all of a sudden shit starts to hit the fan and everything starts going, it goes dark. Everything starts going crazy and all of the lost souls start flying at you and stuff. Dude, that game, as much as I loved Doom as a series, Doom 1 and Doom 2 and all the, extras on top of that, when Doom 3 came out, I was like, yeah, I can take this. Yeah, it's just another Doom game. I'm going to fucking rip and tear, and then you're like, oh no, this is so different. Holy shit. I am like, dude, I died so many times in that game just out of sheer, like, there were a lot of jump scares in that game. You're walking down a hallway, there's like hardly any light, and then all of a sudden something flies across the room. You're like, holy shit. What the fuck? I thought I'm playing Doom. What is this, bro? Give me the chain gun right now.
Exactly. Like what? Yeah. Doom 3 was one of those games where it was like you knew you had to walk down the hallway, but you just like stand there and be like, I just don't want to.
Oh yeah.
I just know there's nothing good in this hallway.
Exactly.
I hear monsters, and I'm just gonna sit here for a minute because I don't want to go.
Normally, the phrase in Doom is I'm not stuck in here with them. They're stuck in here with me, except for that game.
That's
Doom
awesome.
3 was that was my first steelbook, man. I remember Doom 3 fondly. First steelbook I had on regular Xbox.
Heck yeah.
All right, so I have one more quick fun topic I thought we would discuss before we end the show. Quick one, shouldn't take too long. I just want to know, what do you think, or what is the worst thing you got on Halloween from the house? Doesn't have to be candy, just whatever they were giving out. I want to know, what was the worst thing? Like, what was the one thing that you would get and it would make you mad, or you remember you hated that house, or what was the worst?
I got it.
You want to go first?
I'm going to go first because it was this old lady on my street when I was about 7 or 8 years old. She would give everybody the little travel size toothpaste. You're gonna eat candy all day, and you're gonna need this. And you would go to her house, and that's what you would get. You would get travel size toothpaste, bro.
Good one.
And the worst shit. Excuse my language. Worst shit on Halloween ever.
Was at least
why are you giving toothpaste, dude?
Sparkle Colgate.
Dude, no, it was like, I don't know what it was back then. I don't even think it was Colgate. It was some like
Aquafresh,
generic. But nobody would. We just stopped going to her house. We
probably was an aim.
We would try. Probably we would try like every year to maybe she would give us something different or whatnot. But every year she would give us travel size toothpaste, dude. Worst thing ever, dude. Never again. Never again.
Henry Brown for $5. Halloween special tonight, downtown Los Angeles Gentlemen's Club. I hear Elvira is dancing tonight. Lots of thrills, so it's going to be real radical. Well, all right.
Wow, very cool.
Sounds like you're having a better night than us. Cag, that's hilarious. This is exactly
Dude.
the type of thing I was
Yeah.
hoping to hear. Toothpaste. Why would you do that?
And she
I
like,
get her perspective though. All these rotten teeth tonight from all the lollies. I'm
that's
not
what she would
toothpaste.
say, dude. She was like 80 years old, and I'm not gonna contribute to you guys losing your teeth. And then we're just like looking at this lady, like, seriously, dude. And she had a whole like plastic bag just of nothing but toothpaste, dude. I'm like, where did you even get this from?
I'm sure she reused it every year too. So it's probably like 10-year-old toothpaste.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
What about you, Reggie? Was there anything in your neighborhood that was terrible? Nope.
I don't really have one, guys. I have one of the best spots, but unfortunately, like I can't really remember one that stuck out as like a bad spot to go for Halloween. I mean, the best spot for me. Sorry.
It could just be the worst type of candy you hated to get, man. Could be what do you like, Mounds bars, whatever it is, man.
Anything with
I'm
peanuts.
sorry, RNG. I didn't mean to offend you.
Freaking love coconut. I love the stuff.
Yeah, probably something with peanuts, but nothing really sticks out for me.
That's cool.
Do you like peanut butter?
No, allergic.
Okay.
Bummer.
All right then.
I suppose food that kills you is kind of a bummer.
Yeah, it takes one to a new level.
I think I
That
sent
sure does suck.
Reggie. I think I sent Reggie a family size thing of Reese Pieces, and because I didn't know he was allergic to peanut.
Wow.
It wasn't Reese Pieces, Reggie. I sent everybody candy that year.
I think it was me, man. It was a couple years ago. I can't remember.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think it was.
He's like, dude, I'm allergic to peanuts. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, bro.
Just eat the chocolate parts.
The fourth
You
that
around
counts.
it,
Yeah.
Pigsy, what about you, man?
As I mentioned it last week, but Australia doesn't really do Halloween. But when I was a kid, I wanted to go trick or treating, and Mum's giving me expectations. They don't really do it in Australia, so some people mightn't give you anything or mightn't like this. And I went to this one house, and this lady was so shocked that we knocked on her door, so she gave us all an orange.
At least she gave you something. Come on, that's not even bad. Like at least she gave you something.
Like an orange each, or did she split up an orange and give?
Oh, we had an orange
one?
each.
Everybody gets a slice.
Yes. I mean, that's nice. At least you got a whole orange.
Right. Do they not do Halloween in Australia because every day is horrifying there?
I was about to make the same joke. Nick beat me to it.
They're like modernized with social media and stuff and American TV. Like I went down the street this morning and half the houses are all done up and things like that. So it's definitely different to when I was a kid, but it never used to be a thing over here.
What about you, Radbash? What was your least favorite thing to get?
Okay, so I hate this guy. Like I hate this guy. So he always ran.
So I
for
wanted to
mayor.
end the show with some bitterness and hatred.
Yeah.
So
So this guy would always run for mayor, and so anytime you would go up, if you didn't bring your parents with you, you got no candy. You would just get a thing with his name on it and a list of everything that's wrong with our town. And that was it. If you brought your parents, if they came up to the door with you and listened to him, then you got candy. I wanted to egg this dude's house, but I was too
just
good of a
gonna say,
person.
That
But,
list
like,
would have had toilet paper on someone's house.
Yeah.
The next day.
I hated this dude. Like we started to avoid his house, and one year his wife was out handing king size bars out, and then you think, oh, it's good, we can go back. No, you go back, there he is. He's handing out his papers, talking about how potheads are roaming the streets, and it's like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah, we're already looking for candy, man.
Yeah, we're trying to get candy, bro.
Bro, this.
Oh my
Give me that.
Hey, I got a question about that. I got a question about that. You said he's handing out papers with like everything that's wrong with the town.
Yes.
His name was on it, right?
Yeah, no, it should have been. This old man, he was the most hated guy, and he's like, I don't understand why I don't ever win. I'm like, dude, because nobody likes you. Like, you're that guy. Yeah, hated him.
That's hilarious. That's the best thing about that story is that he never won.
He never won, not once.
Just
Didn't get a let nothing.
Nobody voted for him.
Nobody.
That's amazing. What about you, RNG Gamer?
I'm so glad you asked this question. I've been waiting forever to tell this story.
Here it comes.
Yes.
There was this old man, and he lived down this like dirt road from my house. His house was like the growth house. It looked like it was going to be condemned. but he was the neighbor, and he went to the same church as us, and you had to go to his house. And he serves the same thing every year for Halloween, and it's the craziest shit you could ever have. It was just sandwiches, just like turkey sandwiches with cheese and mayonnaise and tomatoes and lettuce and shit.
That's actually pretty awesome.
Wait! It gets so much better. They were not wrapped. They were just
no.
He would stack them on like a plate, like 15 sandwiches high. And you don't know this till you experience
Finger
it.
sandwiches or full-on sandwiches?
These were like loaf bread sandwiches.
Oh my God.
Okay, so you don't know this, but all those damn sandwiches, they have weight to them. So the ones on the bottom were like smashed.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I would like always be like, let's go to Mr. Breyer's house right away. Let's go to Mr. Breyer's house right away so we can get a sandwich that's at least on the top and not flattened with like all and like it's got the juice
were
of all the
good
turkey
sandwiches.
like dripping down through the stack of sandwiches. And my dad would go with this, and he was the pastor of the church. And he's like, you're going to eat that sandwich. Like, come hell or high water. We're going to stand there and eat it in the dry.
He's going to watch you eat it.
And I would sit there and eat it. And one year I got one, and it was like the bottom sandwich. And I remember picking it up, and the juice of all the tomatoes had pulled on the plate. So it was like floating. And as I picked it up, the bottom piece of bread had like dissolved. The only thing keeping the sandwich together was like because I live in Alabama, it's still like 80 degrees, was the wilted, warm ass lettuce on the bottom that was like flopping around my fingers. And I sat in the driveway, like eating it like this as my dad watched me. And I've never forgotten it. And like 10 years in a row, I had to go to that house. And it was always like, we're going to get it on the way back, not the first stop.
Oh,
You guys kept
It was
wanting
dinner,
to
your
go
dad's
there.
pretty
So apparently they were good.
So
Yeah, they had to have
gross.
been good, right? You kept going back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god,
Just
well I
keep
could
out.
not go, man. He was like down the hill from me.
dude, it's like more expensive to make the sandwiches than it was to buy a bag of candy.
He was like
More time
proud.
consuming too.
He was proud though. He's like, the tomatoes came from my garden, and like, you know, like I put my love and care into this, and I was like,
See, then you kind of feel bad.
everybody felt really bad about it, but he was like a nice guy. He's just old, and like he wasn't able to keep things up like you would want. You know, it's like you go to your great grandparents' house at Thanksgiving, and you're like, that gravy.
At least like put like freaking wax paper or foil.
I
in
know
between layers.
that I never got. Like, why didn't you just buy the cheap Ziploc bags or something? Because like you had to eat the sandwich. Are you going to throw that in the bag with your candy? Like, what are you going to do? You're just going to walk. You're going to walk through the neighborhood all night holding a damn sandwich in your hand the whole time.
This is my dinner.
I'm totally doing that tomorrow.
It's so gross.
I'm doing it tomorrow, and I'm gonna make every sandwich with the butt ends of the bread.
Oh yeah,
Every last one.
here's about $900 worth of sandwich.
Yeah, I was about to say it's too
Like,
expensive to do that now. I ain't giving nobody sandwiches.
we bought like $150 worth of candy to give out.
Wow.
Dang.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
and I just because we go trick or treating, so I just leave it in a bucket on the front steps and just hope nobody steals it all. And they always
Yeah, you're my favorite house.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I know,
Those
dude.
kids, if you have a camera, those kids will take everything. Like,
They still gonna take a camera or not.
cameras everywhere, and they
they'll look at the camera.
Yeah, they'll moon the
They'll-
camera.
well, the kids will like come up and like you recognize them, and then they think they're real clever. They'll like walk in the cul-de-sac and do a loop, and I can see them the whole time, but they'll trade masks. So it'll be like a Spider-Man
Smart.
costume with like an Iron Man mask, and then like next it'll be like a Spider-Man costume. The same kid with like this time he'll put a Spider-Man mask on, and I was like, "You took like 1,500 grand bars." Like,
That's hilarious.
Amazing. Yeah. What about you, JRPG Life? What was the worst thing or the thing you hated the least or hated the most?
Well,
to get?
I grew up in a small town, and there seems to always be like one house that when you're out trick-or-treating, and I always went with my brothers, and we're just kind of like, you know, it's like steep hill, there's one light on, and the rest of it's just pitch black, right? but you know, they probably have candy, right? we go up, we knock on the door, and the guy that opens up the door, like, you know, I'm pretty sure he was a tweaker, but on something, right? And I don't know if he expected trick-or-treaters or not, because he didn't have any candy. He gave us, like, I think about 3 cents and pennies. Like,
at least he didn't give you his crack pipe. Come on now. At least you got pennies instead.
we were sweating bullets there because he was just reaching into his pockets.
Oh my god!
Pulling out.
Here, have a rock.
Flint and like, oh, here's some
Pocket sand.
pocket change. And like, you know, we're just sweating bullets there. Like, all right, thanks. You know, like, don't kill us. Bye.
I also had the pennies thing back in the you know, the late 80s, but the big one for me was there was always a few houses that had the stale popcorn balls.
Yeah.
Usually they weren't in a bag or saran wrap or anything. They were just piles of stale popcorn balls. So you didn't take it. It's gross.
Yeah,
what's up with you guys eating stuff that people are making? My mom taught me better than that. If it didn't
You
come
don't.
wrapped,
You don't
we
eat
didn't touch it.
You curse, you take it, and then you throw it in their trash as you're walking down.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's where the razor blades are and stuff.
Yeah, our parents would pull that stuff out and like, nope.
Oh yeah,
yeah, exactly.
But pennies were a real thing back in the late
yeah.
80s. Like that was.
That's not the only thing you got pennies out either.
What about you, Kag?
I already did.
I was the first one
yeah.
to win. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Nick, did you go yet?
Fucking box of raisins, dude.
That was mine, bro.
Box of raisins is just the fucking worst.
It is. Nick. I'm so glad you do. I really am. Like, I thought I was being
Yeah.
like kind of a whiny baby, but I
No.
hate those damn raisins.
Yeah, dude.
I don't like
Like
raisins.
seeing the you know, you open your bag and then you see the person just drop in a little red box of Sun-made raisins, and you're like, why? This is not candy.
I'm coming back in next year.
Hey,
I
well,
want
that's
candy.
nature's candy, bro. Chill out.
No. Fucking raisins, dude. Like that's worse than like fucking like the gummy treats. You know what I mean? Like raisins really get stuck to your teeth. And then after you're done like chewing them, you know, the fucking 5 minutes it takes to chew that. Because when you open that box of raisins, dude, they're all clumped together.
There's
It's
one giant raisin.
Yeah, it's one giant multi-raisin conglomerate. And then after you eat it, you've literally got to get the toothpaste from whoever said toothpaste earlier. And then eventually you'll run into someone who's giving out toothbrushes because there's always a dentist on the block.
There is.
Yeah, and you got to use both of those to get the freaking raisins out of your damn mouth. Meanwhile, the fruit snacks and stuff don't even stick to your teeth that bad. I'm getting
all in it
worked up.
together.
I am literally getting worked up right now over fucking
I'm
raisins.
This whole question came from my hatred of getting raisins at Christmas and Halloween. That's what I used to get. And what's funny is like, if you give me some trail mix, I think raisins are delightful. I'm not like anti-raisin. I think raisins are fine, but I and even Raisinets, the little chocolate covered ones, okay, I like those. They're yummy, you know. But just straight up raisins on Halloween, that is just anti-fun, sir. You're just a frumpy, mean, non-fun person. For God's sakes, put some chocolate on there. Give me something. Give me some candy.
Even like the pre-packaged, because I was going to initially say this or the pre-packaged popcorn balls, but neither one of those are fucking acceptable. Like at all. Both of them are probably fucking terrible for your teeth. That no one enjoys eating it. You know, like give me a jawbreaker instead. That's probably safer for my freaking teeth.
If I'm gonna wreck my teeth, I'm gonna wreck it with a jawbreaker.
What about you, Marcus?
Still terrifies me to this day. I honestly really messed me up. Somebody give me a Sega game.
Oh, that's the worst.
What?
Dude.
What?
I'm so sorry for
Dude, you were blessed.
Get out of here.
Oh man.
No, I'm kidding. I had to mess with y'all with that. Probably fruit. Like I just felt like that was like the anti trick or treating thing. Here, have this nice apple. And I'll probably throw it down the street after I would get it put in my bag.
Oh, the lady from the church who doesn't believe in Halloween's giving out fruit.
Yep.
Launch it.
Like you said, I think that every house that gave out like fruit or those popcorn balls, what they actually gave out is ammunition.
Yes.
Gave out. Because like you said, no one wants to eat. First of all, on Halloween, like I can't believe you would eat a sandwich. First of all, RJ.
Yeah, what?
No, I'm not eating anything except Reese's peanut butter cup.
It was I can remember it. I haven't had a sandwich like this in years, and I can taste it in my mouth. It's just like Oscar Mayer bologna, Kraft singles, tomato lettuce,
juice,
and then like 9 tablespoons of mayonnaise.
That actually sounds awesome right now.
On white ass
man.
bread.
I mean, I eat it, but
It's
not
like
on
you
Halloween.
know when that bread soaks up all that tomato juice, it's like stuck to
I'm like the
everything.
gag thinking about it.
Oh,
Sticks to the roof of your mouth.
Yeah, oh yeah.
yeah.
You'd bite into it, and it would just like it was like biting into Play-Doh. It would just form between your teeth.
What?
You know what? All right, so hold on. There's a candy. It was a staple when I was a kid. I haven't seen it in years. I know it's lingering around somewhere. I thought someone was going to mention it, but it was the black and brown taffy, the peanut butter and black licorice taffy.
They're not that bad.
What?
It is not that bad. We used to get a ton of it. It and like Tootsie Rolls would make up like 50% of the candy you would get.
I like licorice, so
I like licorice too, but that taffy was like the lowest of the lowest quality. It was basically like spun spider sugar.
Black licorice, I cannot do that. Anise, absolutely.
Oh man, in
100%,
Scandinavia,
I'd be trading that.
It's the most popular candy, and you know what they cover it with? Salt.
What?
Yeah, the Dutch
licorice. Yeah.
licorice, right? I've had it.
Licorice, It's good. You
It's
get addicted.
not
to it.
terrible. It's interesting.
Yeah.
It gives you that sweet and salty taste at the same time. But
Disgusting.
No.
Well,
Yeah,
it
no,
shreds your
pass.
mouth. It has like Captain Crunch syndrome, where like you eat it and then like you just have micro cuts all over the inside of your
Oh.
mouth when you suck
See,
on
that's-
it from all the salt.
That's Skittles. Skittles like destroys my mouth. Like it's like razor blades.
Yeah, I don't get that. I get it with Jolly Ranchers and Captain Crunch. That's like
Sour Skittles do that
yeah.
for me.
King Vitamin did that to me. Ugh.
I had one of my good friends. He went on a trip to I think Iceland or something, and he brought back some of that god awful candy licorice stuff. And I remember he was like so happy. He's like, "I brought you the finest candies of Europe." And I was like, "Oh, lovely!" And he gave me a piece, and I was just like. Spitting out like, what the hell is this? What is this roll? Where's the candy? What is this? Oh, what am I eating?
So
oh my God.
I had one in Finland that was like it's one of the most bizarre pieces of candy I've ever had. Picture like a cherry cordial. So it's like a container of maraschino cherry juice. But it wasn't maraschino cherry juice. Instead, it was like black licorice with salt on it. On the inside of it, it was full of like vodka and like a plum.
Why?
And it was big. It was like the size of a racquetball. And
Wow.
and the family's like, "You've got to try this." And I'm like, I'm ready. And I bit into it, and I just had like a hand of liquid. I was like,
You were not ready.
It's so
There you
good.
go.
Thank you so much. Like you said, like this is the finest candy that we can get.
And you have
by
no
riding our
choice, but
snowmobile to
if
the
you're-
gas
if you're-
station.
And if you're in that position, you have to be like,
Oh my god! Yeah, the night I got there,
Oh, good.
they served
Disgrace my
lutefisk
country
the
with
first night I
our
was
candy in
there,
Finland.
and they're like, "How was the lutefisk?" And I was like, "It's delicious." Like I had chemical burns in my mouth.
Oh yeah.
And they're
I,
like, "Oh, we're so glad you liked it." And like every week they served it. Like for
Oh.
months. And every time I was
Like
just like,
filling your
I don't
testicles
mind
getting
eating
twisted
caustic
up.
soda. I know the flavor of this is what you use to clean industrial food processing equipment, but the canker sores in my mouth really like make the saltiness really stand out. It really helps the whole experience.
Dude, yeah, like black licorice does not need to exist. Neither does Jaeger. Jägermeister is fucking.
I love Jaeger. See, here's the thing though.
What?
Jaeger
bombs.
Jaeger, you know,
Jaeger
it says on the
bombs,
bottles,
baby.
serve ice
Yeah.
cold.
Red
And I
Bull
was
and
like,
Jaeger
that
is
blew my
something
mind away in
magical happens.
college because in high school, I only ever drank it out of the like the trunk of a car. At like 120
You're
degrees.
supposed to drink Jaeger, to be fair.
I love the stuff.
Yeah, it's liquid black licorice. I can't do black licorice, man. Ugh.
You got to mix it with Rumpelmans, which is like
You got to mix it with
peppermint
stuff.
schnapps.
Ugh.
You ever like a chocolate cake shot?
No.
Yeah, I've had
It's
one.
like it's amazing. You could take like 7 liquors that are disgusting by themselves, but if you mix them all together, it tastes like chocolate cake.
Yeah,
So
it's kind of like a Long
Island.
Island iced tea. All the flavors cancel each other out.
Exactly.
Also,
It's
you're
some sort of
drunk after like
chemistry
2 of them,
experiment.
so you don't.
I just,
Drunk
pull,
after
I
two
just
of them.
pull a Stone Cold Steve Austin and stick with beers.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I drank this tonight, and it was absolutely revolting.
Angry or I'm not a huge.
This
But-
is like this is the 9% alcohol Angry Orchard.
Ooh.
Nice.
And it just tastes like someone put kerosene in apple juice.
Yeah, it's like nail polish juice.
You're like,
Well, everybody, it's about that time. We've already been going 2 hours and 15 minutes, and we didn't even do any pickups. That's amazing. Good for us. We didn't.
Does
Need
anybody want any survival horror suggestions?
Sure. You want to do some suggestions before we go out, Reggie?
Yeah, why not?
Sure,
Let's see
man.
here.
Hit us.
He's the
Mr.
expert.
Survival horror man.
And then we got everything set up here.
You got like 50 videos set up.
No, this is a couple for you guys. Guilt. I think this one will be perfect for a RNG gamer.
you've been pushing this hard. You've almost
Guilt's
convinced
good.
me.
Yeah. About the little girl who's trying to find her
Yeah.
friend, and she ends up. It's like Alan Wake, Silent Hill, but like
Yep.
the kid version.
I'll
I think
buy it
it's
right
up your-
now.
It's right up your alley. You can buy it on Switch, PS4, and PS5, and even Stadia if that thing still exists, right? Like non-existent.
I don't think it exists anymore.
I don't think
Stadia.
it does. Yeah.
Not even a paperweight. Wow.
Yeah.
Dude,
But
it's
this game, I
expensive,
almost
man.
got my platinum on this game. I need to go ahead and try to get it. I got to play the game again and find all the notes. But just be aware, the game has multiple endings, and I didn't get the best ending my first time playing it. But definitely a good game. Has
I love
some
the
scary
look of
moments
it.
in it,
Yeah.
and it's a trip, man. It's a trip. So definitely check that one out. And let's see what we have here. For JRPG Life, I have you guys. Maybe you guys already played this game, but just in case you haven't, I think Worse Than Death would be right up your alley. A side-scrolling horror game where a girl goes back to her high school reunion, and things get out of hand. There is a monster that is tearing people apart, and you can only run and hide from it. And if it catches you, it's over. But the game has a twist, and it's very cool. So. Definitely something I think you guys might like. It should be on the cheap, whether you get a physical or just buy it digital. But yeah,
Well, funny you mention it. This is one of the games that I'm an idiot and I bought twice. So if anybody,
I remember we found that deal for
let
it.
me know because I got 2.
Yeah, I'll have to check this one out. I've never heard of this one.
Yeah, this is a good one, man. It's really entertaining.
Yeah.
All right, so next one here. Oh man, I feel like let's see here. This one's let's skip to this one. This is called Monstrum. Monstrum is a game where you are it's random as hell. It's a first person game where you end up in a certain level and there's a monster chasing you, but you never know what the monster is. It's always a different monster. I think there's like 3 or 4 different monsters, and you only find out what it is when you see it, or if it sees you. So it's a trip. You're trying to escape the ship on this part. You got your flashlight. Everything's randomized, so it's always like a trip every time you play it. But and they have these cameras that make sounds that they hear you, so the monster will know where you're at. So you got to be very careful. But this one's a trip. It went under everybody's radar. It is. I don't want to call it a low budget game, but it does have some glitches in it that could have been fixed. But it did make it to physical, thankfully, and it was published by Sedesco, if that tells you anything. But still an entertaining experience. And in this footage here, I don't remember what monster it was. I think it was the monster on the cover that I actually ran into. But yeah, definitely a cool game. And it should be hopefully still on the cheap. I'm waiting. I'm trying to like show the footage until the monster shows up, but maybe it should be showing up here pretty soon.
I second this game.
Sorry, go ahead.
I second this one.
There it is. Run!
This is one of the ones with an audio. It's like you're in that ship or whatever.
Yep.
You can hear the footprints. and it's one of those ones where like they see you and then they start running. And that's just goddamn terrifying because you hear like dung dung, then all of a sudden you're dung 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 dung. You're like, no, like, oh man, get your blood pumping.
And this one is for Nick. I think he'll like A Quiet Place, Road Ahead. This takes place during the beginning of the whole disaster. And
No raisins in this, by the way.
No raisins.
No raisins.
I don't want to say this game has throwaway characters, but the main character is this girl, and she's pregnant and everything like that, and then she has asthma.
Oh.
So you put all that into one, and yeah, you got to be careful in this game because she can't really run too long, and mostly you have to just hide and be quiet. If you're not, I mean, these things will tear you apart. I got caught up, but it's a fun game. But you have to worry about not only the monsters but humans too, because they turn on you. So.
It's cheap.
Yeah, you see her lungs at the top left. So yeah, when they get to a certain level, you have to take the asthma inhaler, and you only have a couple of those. And that thing she's holding, how much sound you're making. If you go over the limit, yeah, then you attract the monsters. So you got to be very careful. And that one just came out, so treat yourself to that before the end of the year, man. I think it's only $30.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. I think I'm selling you guys on some of these games. This is good. All right, next game here. Worse Than Death. I mean, no, I'm sorry. Tacoma Part 2. I already said Worse Than Death. This game actually scared the hell out of me. And I don't usually get scared with side-scrolling games like this. But you're being stalked by this crazy teacher. And you're in this like other world. I forgot what it was called, but you're looking for your friend. And you're being stalked constantly. And the monster comes up randomly. So it's not like timed events or anything like that. It's like random. So if you're standing around, that monster will come after you. You got to be very careful. And the monster gets worse looking every time the further you get in the game. And you got to make like quick decisions like to get away from it sometimes. So I think right here I'm actually running from it. That's one of the other characters you meet. But I'm pretty sure I have some footage of the teacher that's coming after you in this. But definitely something I think you guys would like.
Yeah, these games are fun. And
What's
then,
this one called?
Coma 2.
I brought it up because they actually just released the Coma Part 3 or like a Coma Part 2-ish, I would say. You got to release it digital, so I might actually pick that up, see what it's about.
The first Coma is really expensive. I just sold a copy for like $300.
Really?
Yeah,
the PlayStation one, right?
Yeah, the PlayStation one.
Yep.
The Switch one's pretty relatively cheap. And then Game Fairy just announced they're redoing a Switch version of this game as well.
Right on.
Man, I thought Game Fairy.
I thought they were out of business, man. They're still around.
Yeah, dude. It's the first game they've announced in like 2 years or something. I feel like since Rigid Force Deluxe, which is still for sale on their website, so that could be related.
Did you guys see that Crow Country is getting a physical through Fan Gamer?
Yes, I did. Looks awesome.
Good. I thought you were gonna say limited run. Somebody knew.
No.
And then Elisa is getting
premium edition.
Released premium edition. That one looks dope too.
That
Crow
is a
Country
great game.
and Elisa, both of those look amazing. They're like PS1 inspired retro horror games. They look awesome.
Elisa is like my game of the year, the best game I played. Like I love that game.
I'm 100% ordering that.
It's so good.
It's got a winning name.
Fixie, I got one for you. Hopefully, you already got this, Fixie. But Song of Horror. This is probably my
I've got the
favorite.
collector's edition in the big box.
Okay, cool. So this game, you play as like 13 different characters, and you get different endings depending if they survive or not. This dude right here is one of the coolest people, the first people you play as, but he's unfortunately the first person
Like that swagger and this
that gets locked in the darkness. Yeah. And it's got the Resident Evil feel of the different camera angles and like a little bit of Dino Crisis, how it zooms in like on the camera angles and everything. So it's pretty cool. Very cinematic, I would say. But it's crazy because like when you're in this mansion, you come to this house like at different times in the game and there's darkness. And if the darkness, like, it's like it'll chase you through doors and you have to be careful what doors you go into because if there's a darkness lingering and you go in the door, your character's dead immediately. And that changes the ending. So you got to be very careful. Make sure there's no darkness leaking from it. And it'll trick you sometimes as well. So very interesting game. Now, it got released twice. It got released in Europe, which was the cheaper version. And then Limited Run did their own version, which is the more expensive one now. But I would just go ahead and get the European version because it's just, I think it has a better like package or whatever like that. But definitely
got a cooler sleeve, yeah.
Yeah,
It's cheaper and it looks better. It's a no-brainer, right?
Yeah.
I'll grab it out.
Yeah, I got it fixed.
Yeah, I'll have to check this one out. I've never heard of this one.
Wait, what was the name of this?
Song of
It's
Horror.
called, yeah.
I own that. I
It has to
forgot
do
I
with this
owned it.
music box. And it's there it is. Perfect. Perfect.
Yep.
So mine's crooked, bros. It's like a rhombus. Look at that.
Of course, it's sealed.
Baloney.
And when we're talking cheaper than limited run, I got that for $5 Australian. It was literally like $3 US for that version. You know,
Wow.
I'm never gonna pay that
And they're-
for a
and
limited run game.
And they're the same, I believe, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, they
Like,
should.
yeah.
Sure they are.
Yeah. Okay, so I think I have one more here. No, two more. This is Signalis. This is probably yeah. They restocked this game at Video Games Plus, I believe. And
I think
this
it's sold
one-
out again now too. Maybe I'm
is it
wrong.
sold out again?
I don't know.
Wow.
Could be wrong. I get it. Let me check.
This game's a trip. And I'm gonna say if you're a true survival horror fan of like the PS2 era, you got to add this game to your collection. I can't really say too much about it without spoiling it. That's why it's kind of annoying to talk about. But this game is like a trip, man. And I was just shocked at the reveal, in certain parts of the game. If you like your old school survival horror with scares, tension, puzzles, this game be right up your alley. And it's on Switch and PS4. And I think
Yeah, and
the
it's
PS4
not sold out. I was completely wrong. They have it.
Okay, cool. So make sure you guys
You should get it though, because it was wicked expensive before they reprinted it.
Yep.
Well, the company who put it out, published it, went out of business. I think Humble Bundle or what they're called, a Humble something Games.
Yeah, Humble Studios.
Yeah, they went out of business, so bought out their
Closed.
stock, and yeah,
Which sucks.
But
They
yeah.
had a ton of cool games. Like I was actually shocked. They have like a lot of good games. I'm kind of bummed about that.
I know, right? And then the last one. Hold on a second here. The last one, I'm making sure I got all of them. I think I might have. Oh yeah, this probably is kind of absurd, but this is the most expensive game. But CAG, if you ever get to play this game, you got to play Michigan Report from Hell.
Oh no! Oh no!
Probably one of the more expensive games out there, but we don't.
Oh,
you can put
no.
it on the Steam Deck. You got and play it, which you play as a cameraman, and you're kind of like I don't want to. Well, you want to protect your reporter in the areas you're in, but the game really reminds me of The Fog in a way. So if The Fog became a video game, this would definitely be it. Now, if you get caught in the fog, obviously it's game over pretty much. But you want to make sure you protect the reporters if you can. But the game's a trip because it wasn't supposed to get translated in English. They actually translated it and released it in PAL territories without asking the creator. So it's kind of a blessing we got this game. But it's definitely got that old school survival horror feel to it. It's got some scary environments. The voice acting, of course, is like that goofiness, but I love it. It's like back when voice acting wasn't really like they didn't care. They just hired people off the street or whatever. Like that, hey, you got a good voice, you want to be in a game, boom, and that's how it is. But yeah, you're gonna mostly be holding your camera and like filming that type of stuff. But it's a good game, and it's very expensive.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't there
It's
some weird
creeped up to
story?
be
Like,
the most expensive PAL, at least the most expensive available PAL game. There's other more expensive ones, but you just can't buy them.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I actually bought it sealed, and I remember I did a breaking the seal years ago on this game, and I bought it back in like 2015 for like I think it was like $250, and I thought that was crazy. But now it's going for like probably like I don't want to say like 1,000, but
It's going for over 1,000 Australian. So sealed, I don't even want to imagine what a sealed copy goes for today.
Yeah, so CAG, definitely try that one out if you get a chance, man. It's a trip.
I'm gonna pick up the Guilt and the Signalis. Those are both on Xbox. They don't have physicals, but if you just do the whole Argentina trick, you can get them for like $4 or $5.
Or
There you go. And hey, I'll just throw this one in for the hell of well, two more in for the hell of it. I don't know if you would call it a survival horror, but if you're a fan of games like Castlevania or just running guns in general. Wait, no, I was about to switch to another one. That game is pretty bad. Where's it at? Hold on a second here. There we go. Wallachia. Anybody played this?
oh yeah,
Ooh. Yes, this is a game.
concert with
that
the
is-
bow.
Yeah, but not only that, man, you can play like with her sword and everything. So it's like you can play like a Castlevania game in a way. This game available for Switch and PS4 and Xbox. I don't know if it's a physical for Xbox, but definitely a solid game. I think a lot of people don't even know about. I got the vinyl for this game. That's how much I got into it. It's got a great soundtrack.
It's
And
fun.
yeah,
hard.
definitely. Yeah, it's hard, but it's not like too hard. Like it's like where you could adapt, I would say, but
It's
not-
got a good old school feel to it. Like if you like the old run and guns, you'll enjoy this. It'll take some time to master it.
Oh, 100%.
If we see this at
100%.
Torg, Reggie, let me know. I need this for the Switch.
Are you gonna be at Torg?
Yes, sir.
Hell yeah, man! I forget, man. I haven't looked at the advertisement in a minute, but yeah, cool.
So
And Kat, you're gonna be there too, right?
I'm gonna try to make it. I'm gonna try to make it on Sunday because
Okay,
I'm gonna
okay.
be in Michigan on Friday and Saturday for work. I gotta go to the Lions Stadium, unfortunately. But hopefully Sunday I'm gonna try to make it down. But if not, man, you should come up before you leave Ohio.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'll try to make that happen. And well, let's throw one more in here. I might get slack for this one, but hey, it's a kind of a new survival horror game. It came out last year. We got the infamous Daymare, huh, Joe?
Oh,
Goodness, there it is.
94. It's definitely better than Daymare 1998, but make sure you play the game patched, day one patch, because if you play without the patch, it's almost like a different game. But it's got that over the shoulder, it's got that third person view of survival horror, and this game was like made by people who were fans of Resident Evil. They actually tried to make a Resident Evil 2 fan game before they got a stop and desist order from a Capcom, but Capcom actually helped them make the first Daymare game. So yeah, that's that message you sent me, Joel, when we found it on the cheap for $20. So, but yeah, Daymare is. I don't know if it's $20 anymore, but it's something interesting. I would say just make sure you play it patched, and that's about it. And yeah, guys, that's all I got for you. Hopefully, you play some of these games before or after or during Halloween.
That Daymare got a physical on Xbox also.
It did?
It did get a physical for Xbox also.
Okay.
So who here is all going to be at Torg? Just so we're clear, I just want to know: is anyone else going? So
Yeah, raise your hand. No, I'm just playing.
We got Marcus, we got Reggie, and
I'm gonna try.
maybe Cag.
Yeah, I'm in Ohio, so it's not that far for me, but I'm gonna definitely try.
That's cool. Is anybody else going to any conventions they want to mention? Anyone else going to be JRPG Live, RNG Gamer, Nerdy Nick? You guys going anywhere?
Not this year, no.
I'm conventioned out.
Done the
I hear you on that.
I'll limit. I'm done.
That's
The
expensive.
next one I have is in May. I'm on the books as a special guest for one in May already. But other than that, I don't.
Next year, I'm going to get off my ass and try to go to a few myself.
I'll be at PRGE
Portland.
next year.
I don't know which ones to go to. There's so many to go to.
yeah,
insane.
it's
I'm
me. I
literally-
want to do more next year, but I don't know which ones to do. Like, there's so many.
Man,
SoCal,
I might-
Siege,
Yep. I might do
Retrofest.
Portland.
Game on
One in
Expo.
Arizona.
Game on.
Portland's good. Game On's good.
I'll probably do Game On and maybe Portland. Just
Game On's probably the next one we'll be at. 'cause
Y'all gonna have to send me a list because I'm not gonna remember any of these.
Sure,
You
man.
want a different feel for a convention? Super MagFest in DC.
Okay.
4-day convention starts on Thursday, runs 24 hours until Sunday.
Oh wow!
Live concerts,
24 hours.
replay.
I'm too old for
no.
that, man.
That's too much.
I turn into a pumpkin at like 9 p.m.
Well, the biggest thing is, for one, it last year sold out. That's how crazy it is. This hotel is huge, and they take over the whole thing. But the biggest thing is getting a room at that hotel. And I finally got it. Like, it was a whole lottery. So the idea is I can go take a nap and come back out and, go crazy. It literally runs 24/7. Concerts going,
That's wild.
DJs. Yeah, it's nuts. So
Called
it's more of like
MagFest?
it's Super MagFest. Yep.
The name
I go
sounds
every year.
familiar.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, they have like
MagFest-
Mag West and a couple other ones too, but that's their flagship one. Always in
Okay.
January. Nuts.
MagFest was like the Holy Land in conventions for a long time during the early 2000s.
It's a big deal.
Oh, that's why I know. Okay, that's
Yeah.
Game Chasers and stuff like that from their
Yeah,
earlier
yeah,
videos. That's
yeah.
why it's clicking in my brain. Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it is nuts, man. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm bummed because my local convention shut down. They're not doing it this year.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, you gotta start one now.
Game Jam. That was the first convention that I was a special guest at. The first one Arkansas Picker was a special guest at. The first one that Phoenix Resale was a special guest at.
Mhm.
And they just don't want to do it anymore. So
Is that Game Jam South?
Yep.
Wow.
Oh, I saw something about that on their socials or someone's social. Someone posted about it. I remember that.
Everybody's trying to get me to buy the rights to it and host it, and I'm like, nah.
Sounds
like my
be a lot of money.
nightmare.
Do it.
You might as well just start your own if you're going to do that.
Talking to the people that have been running it, like, no.
Wow.
Convention center's like $6,000 a day.
Oh, it's expensive and it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It can be tough. I admire the people that decide to do that sort of stuff. I mean, I'm sure they make money, but it's also just an insane amount of work.
There would be money in it, but you got to do it right. And you
Dude,
might
I
make
almost got
money for the first
PTSD trying to
couple
put
of
together this show.
A lot of people.
I can only imagine trying to book hotels and fly people in and get them tickets. And
I've had intimate conversations with John Lester, Gamester81, who runs Game On. And one year in particular, when we were driving up to SoCal, I think it was 2019, when we roomed together, he told me like all the ins and outs of all of his expenditures for Game On and just its exponential growth. And that was before it even took on the massive size it is now this year in the much larger hall in the Phoenix Convention Center. I mean, man, it's scary. You can go into super debt just off of one bad year. You know, it's absolutely terrifying. So kudos to those who like get the shows up and running and keep them going, you know.
Yeah, it's crazy. And like you can't, I mean, you can get a business loan for it, but if you haven't run one before, it might be a profitable convention, but like, is it profitable when you run it? Because like SoCal, they were spending $35,000 a day just for the venue.
Yeah.
And you got to book it for the day before to set up and book it for the day after to break down. So you're only drawing money for like half the time you're there.
And then you got to pay your guests. You got to pay the hotels.
Yep.
You know, you got to
fly everybody out.
Yep.
Pay $10,000 to rent the giant screen for one day. And
advertisement fees, marketing. It would just go on catering.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many conventions I've been invited to, but they're like, you got to make your way out here. And I'm like, dude, I live in Tucson. You know how much it costs to fly out of Tucson? You know?
Yeah.
Like I got to drive up to Phoenix, which that means I got to wake up at like 3 a.m, you know, drive up to Phoenix where JRPG Life's at and, you know, fly out from there. And even still, flights ain't cheap, man. Flights ain't cheap.
I've never flown to one. I've only ever driven. And the only reason I go is to like hang out with my buddies. But
that's the only reason I'm going.
Yeah. The one I've got in May is the first one where they're flying me out. So I'm excited.
That's the best part, honestly, hanging out with everybody.
Yeah, it's just to hang out with like your buddies.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you just deserve to get some recognition. And speaking of some recognition, check this thing out.
Holy
more
shit.
tomato or more sogginess.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
Oh, that's great.
Oh man.
You're welcome,
That's
Jamie.
great.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it.
I literally sat here and made that.
Perfect.
I just had to.
Oh, that's so good.
Look at
That's
it.
so good.
Gross.
Look at the bullseye.
Yeah, that's like
It
a
does.
sandwich. It looks like a vegetarian sandwich. There's no meat on that.
Yeah, what the heck?
Yeah.
It's like a
That's
I don't know.
Even
Right.
soggier. That was from my best first-person shooter thumbnail. So that's why
I
there's
just
a
thought it's
bullseye
funny
on my
because
head.
like your mouth was over. I was like,
that's
all
why
right, this kind of works.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm totally posting it too.
It's a good quick render.
Yeah, I did a great job with that. It's way better than my thumbnails.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Cool. So, does
Did,
anybody else have anything they want to promote coming up? Anybody gonna? Wait, Brad Bash, are you starting a podcast? Did I see something about that?
So it's more so my friends are joining my current podcast. It's all my actual like lifelong friends. So we're gonna like go over like gaming stories we have and things like that.
Cool.
Awesome.
And what night of the week you guys gonna be doing that?
So we're doing it twice a month. They'll come out on Wednesdays, and then all my other content is shifting to strictly horror game related stuff. So those will be out on Sundays.
Oh, you're
That's awesome.
niching
Make sure
down.
you guys go sub.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't, I'm sure you guys know all these people, but if you haven't, please go and sub to all their channels. They're all amazing people. They all
Nobody
make
knows
really
who I
good
am.
content. So
That's not true, Nick.
Does anybody else have anything else they want to plug, so to speak, before we go?
Yeah, check out the N Square podcast. They do tier list videos. That's their favorite type of video to do.
Is it this way? Yes, that way.
Shut up, Reggie.
Cash
Yeah,
showing off this Evil Dead game.
Did you guys anybody pick this up?
Man,
Yeah.
late on mine. It's coming Saturday, but me and Joe got the PS4 version.
I got the
Dude,
good version, Brad.
It was so hard to hunt this down.
Right?
I tried to get on Xbox. Nobody has it in stock. I was gonna get it on PS5 anyways, so I got on PS5 today. I played the Halloween part of it. The game is dope, man.
Yeah, it is.
The game is really good, and then it comes with this pack of cards in the inside. If you haven't opened it up yet, so there is a pack of cards in there that has 8 collectible cards. It's series 1. I haven't opened mine yet. I don't know if I'm gonna open it. But this is worth the $50, dude. Like, this is dope, man. Like, the game. So it's 2 separate games,
Right?
And when you play the game, it's like 2 arcades in there. So you go to either side or whatnot, and then when you start playing the games, you unlock. Like I'm playing Halloween, so I unlock like his mask and stuff. It's dope. Just definitely get it.
Oh my god, it's a
also they intertwine with each other too. I saw like Michael Myers driving the Oldsmobile from Evil Dead, so they kind of like have some kind of moment where I guess they mix together.
Well, yeah, you can play as Michael Myers or Ash or other characters. There's more characters that you can play in the game through the
you can play as like Laurie Strode too.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It's definitely worth it. I played it today. I've been having a blast with it, man.
Speaking of pickups today, I grabbed this before the podcast started this morning. It just came out physically. Core Keeper.
Yeah.
This game is absolutely amazing if you like Stardew Valley or Terraria, even Minecraft. It's got all those elements in it, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's half price too. It's on PS4, PS5,
like
Switch. So happy to have it physical. It's probably my game of the year, so I'm raving about it.
Yeah, and it's an indie dev, so if you like to support the small fellas, it's a good cause, I suppose, in that regard.
Reggie, I think you said something about Amazon, dude. Amazon's a joke now. When it comes to game releases, dude, they drop the ball every month, every week on game releases where you don't even get them.
I still haven't got my Blazing Strike Collector's Edition for PS4. Like I got the Switch version, but PS4 one is what I'm going for. And I was like, dude, they had no excuse of why it was delayed, and it's just everything got delayed. Like it's just annoying. But
yeah, they're a joke now, man. I mean, most of the stores now are jokes to find physical games. Like they make it so hard where they don't want you to go in the store to get it. You'll have to go on their website and get it.
In order, they don't want to play the storefront anymore. But hey, that's why we got our retro games. We can always go back to that stuff when the modern is letting us down without putting not all the game on the disc or delays. You know, say forget you guys. We'll just go back to retro.
Dude, I've been on a Neo Geo MVS kick, and I'm loving it. I've been buying more and more MVS games, and just exposing myself to games I never played at the arcade. So I'm with you on that, man.
Right on. Well, Joe, I guess maybe we can just leave it here, and then we can find out what everybody's playing before we leave. Maybe currently.
Sure. Yeah. No. And then I also Rad Bash has a Halloween special episode coming up, and then I'm in it. So I want to.
Yeah.
I'm in the damn thing.
So Super Retro Force, the group I'm a part of, we actually had some fun news. We got 2 new people, Chill Scissors and Russ Lyman joined us, which that was exciting. But we're also doing our Halloween special tomorrow, and Joe's a part of it. We got like 25 people, and so it's all there's 13 of us members, and there's like 13 guests. There's a bunch of people, but yeah, it's going to be like an hour long of spooky season games tomorrow around 3 p.m. So if you guys want to check that out, Joe is in it. So
It's the first like pre-made YouTube content I've ever made, actually. So
you did really good. I was impressed because I knew that going into it. I was like, okay, he's never done one of these before. I watched it. I was like, that's good.
I sound like fucking Casey Kasem.
I liked it. I thought it was really good. When I was editing everything, I was like, okay, I really like this.
Like literally, I'm like, I can't listen. Oh man. Like I couldn't even. Have you ever like heard yourself on an answering machine? Like I can't even hear myself. Like I can't. I don't know. I can't listen to myself. It's just. So real quick, yeah, we'll run through it. What you guys have been playing? What have you been playing, Reggie?
Ease Ease 10. I finally
Okay.
got my collector's edition of that, and
Ease 10.
oh no, no, that's not it. It actually, don't laugh, but I've been playing Life is Strange Exposure, the fourth game.
Oh, the new one.
Yeah, that's the game. And yeah, going through that story, but it seems pretty decent. But yeah, I'll let you guys know how my final thoughts on it later.
Very cool. So JRPG life, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Look at that, yeah.
Jeez.
Did you guys? What version did you guys get? PS4, PS5, Switch?
PS5.
PS5. Yeah.
Good, stronger version. All right, cool.
Yeah.
So I missed out on the PS4 collector's editions. So
They're not sold out.
I'm talking about the for 8 and 9.
Oh,
8 and 9, I missed out on those versions, so I got the PS5 version. So I'm like committed. I can.
That makes sense.
I'm not getting. You know what I mean? I'm
You can't
getting
have
all the
554.
PS5 point. Yeah, exactly. But dude, I can't wait to play this. But I'm a sicko. This isn't getting opened. I'm going to buy another regular copy to play, which is what I did with the other ones. I own the collector's edition sealed, and then I have the regular single games to play because I'm disturbed.
Clearly.
Oh,
Bigsy, what have you been playing besides Core Keeper?
We're playing this.
I don't know.
All I've been playing
No, let's try
is
JRPG.
GeoGuessr lately, honestly.
Yeah.
Just
Awesome.
trying to get better. I've been streaming it on Twitch, getting really good viewers. We had like 80 viewers for like 4 hours last night, which is pretty cool.
Damn.
But the game verified me, which is cool too. So I got like a blue tick next to my name. But yeah, that's literally all I've been playing right now. Just grinding it hard, trying to get better.
Nice. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Dan, go ahead.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. I was just interrupting with this. Yeah, that's what we're playing. And then when I want to cool down before bed and not have that as the last thing I remembered before I close my eyes, that's the other game I'm playing.
Oh no! Oh no!
Is it good? I want. It looks.
Wow,
good.
dude.
It's very floaty and sensitive, which is what you would expect as a squirrel holding a gun. But it's it's short and easy and weird and just it's fun. Yeah, it's cool. I enjoy it. I can recommend it.
It looks fun. Rabash, what about you? What have you been playing?
Silent Hill 2.
Oh, okay.
Same as J4. Yeah, I'm loving it so far. Really good.
Awesome.
Sweet.
What you, Jamie?
I've been streaming Silent Hill 2 on Tuesdays.
We should start a club. All of us.
And I've been playing Metro 2033 on the
I like those
PS4.
games.
I never did it.
Ooh,
And I've been
nice.
playing Asta Bros on the Tap 2 system,
Nice.
Awesome.
which is pretty cool. It won't focus, but it looks cool.
Was that like a cue card? What is that?
Yeah, the Tap 2 system, it's like a licensed system for like FPGA consoles, like the Mister, and they put Astabros on it, and then you get these near field communicator cards, and you just touch them to your system, and it boots up the game. I've got a whole bunch of them. I got like that new Neo Geo game, Cyborg Justice or Cyborg Force.
That's cool.
Never heard of this
Body
thing.
Flowers on the what is that? The Super Famicom and Demons of Astaborg. There's all kinds of cool stuff on it.
Nice. Kag, what have you been playing?
So I showed you guys the Halloween. I just started that, and then on PlayStation, everybody's showing the Silent Hill 2
Yes.
until dawn for the first time. So I'm playing that, and
great
then
game.
on Xbox, Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero and Undisputed on Xbox. So that is what my weekends consist of when I'm at home.
Awesome.
Nice.
Nick, how about you?
I'm playing the only game that actually matters. Helldivers 2, baby. Let's go.
Let's go.
Democracy, baby. Managed democracy throughout the galaxy. That's what I'm talking about, bro.
Nick's still keeping the galaxy safe for us all. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Appreciate your service.
Yeah.
Nick,
Mark.
we need to run some Helldivers sometime, dude. I can't
yeah,
find anybody
man.
else to play with anymore. Everybody
Oh, dude.
stopped.
Dude, I'm on like every day. Every day. And I've also started playing Black Ops 6. And I will say
I'm surprised nobody said that.
I know the zombies is amazing in that. I'm tempted to
Yeah,
This is why I love. This is why I like this group.
yeah.
I like that.
Black
We're all
Ops
playing
6,
Silent Hill too. I'm like, this is why you guys are all here.
I was planning on skipping it, even though it's on Game Pass Ultimate, which I have. But what got me hooked was they brought back the Replacer commercials, and that shit got me hyped. I love those freaking commercials so much, man. It brought back the feeling, and it's gonna sound gimmicky, but the dynamic movement system that they've implemented in the game feels so fucking fluid. Like, it is the best feeling Call of Duty game I've ever played, and I have all of them. It's the fucking bee's knees. I don't know. It's good.
I've heard it's fantastic. I heard the
it's
really good.
it's absolutely great. Yeah, it's not your stereotypical like bro down, throw down Call of Duty. Like, it is a very fast, frenetic, fun, excellent feeling, and beautiful game. But Helldivers too, mostly. That's what I'm talking about.
What about you, Marcus?
Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga. That's what I'm playing.
Nice.
It's really good. I was shocked. I'm enjoying it.
Fun.
Nice.
There's no such thing as a bad Lego Star Wars game. They're all good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that one has like 7 on there, something like that. 7 or 9.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So I've been going hard on Contra on the old NES, and I actually got the 1 credit clear the other day for the first time ever.
Yeah, saw that.
Yes, I was actually. It was really exciting. I was at work, and I just was like, I'm going to take my lunch break, and I started playing Contra, and I beat the damn thing, and I didn't eat lunch, and I was like, I am not stopping. This is amazing. And I only died twice. So now that I'm going to try for a no death run, which is going to be annoying. Yeah, that's going to be really. I play the old Contra. You die like real easy.
That's the only sandwich you need during lunch.
That's true.
So an interesting thing about Contra, if you it loops after you beat it. If you keep going, you get so many extra lives from not dying that the game can't process it, and it starts running slower and slower. So if you can loop it twice, you can get the world record. The game maxes out the score, and you can match the world record on Contra. If you can make it through twice, you can make it through the 11 times you have to play it in a row. Because it runs at like 1 frame a second.
Holy shit.
No,
I'm assuming there's like 10 people who all have the world record. Or
no, it's like there's like 5,000 people with the world record on it. Yeah.
And then the game that's not really old, as I've been playing, is Pacific Drive. You guys familiar with that game?
Still good.
Survival game. Yeah,
it looks interesting.
It's so it's a survival game, like you said, and normally I wouldn't really be into it, but it's actually really freaking creepy, dudes. So like you can have it's one of those games that has a million settings, and you can make it as hard as you want or as easy as you want, forgiving, not forgiving. But if you turn on let's make this hard, dude, it's like you're wandering around in the pitch black with the freaking a flare, like lost in the woods, just like, where am I? What's happening? It's so creepy, it's so dark, and it's like got like amazing atmosphere. It's a weird game because there's no monsters per se in it. Nothing's trying to kill you. It's all like atmospherical, like stuff pops up and messes with you. But the whole point of it is like you drive around in this like station wagon, and you have to like gather materials and try to escape this area basically. And it doesn't sound like it'd be that fun, but it is addicting. It's one of those like, I'm gonna do one more run. I'm just gonna go get one more run. I'm gonna go one more run, and then you die, and then you're like, screw this game because you lost all your stuff, and then you get mad. So, but yeah, it's great. It's a beautiful game too. Like the art is amazing, looks gorgeous. If you have a nice TV, I highly recommend popping it on at nighttime and creeping yourself out. It's creepy. It is a creepy ass game. So it's a good spooky season game for me. No, I'm enjoying it. It's called Pacific Drive. It's cheap too. It's like $39.99.
Right on.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I've been playing. And then about 400 shmups, which we won't get into. Because there's been no progress. I haven't seen nothing.
They're about to release the Toppling collection too. I know you're probably gonna be interested in that.
Is it from Strictly Limited Run? Strictly Limited? Because I'll never get it.
Retrobit is doing it.
Oh, they're doing the Genesis games, right?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that.
You're not gonna get Slap Fight and Grindstormer.
I'm
a Grindstormer that doesn't turn into a dead cart. That's gonna be really nice to have.
Mm-hmm.
I don't collect carts, anything, so that's just like a personal thing. That's it's nothing that I dislike it. I just have a line Like, I don't know if you guys have it, but I have like a what I will and I will not buy, and I have to have that. Otherwise, I buy all the things.
I don't have that. I just have a crippling addiction.
I just buy everything, dude. I can't. I have to.
You know what's crazy? I
You
already
gotta
own
do a
those
limit.
games, and I'm gonna buy it. $160. It's just money, man. It doesn't do any good if you don't spend it.
I have ADHD. I'll just be like, I've decided to collect 3,000 Coleco games, and then I'll do that, and then I'll be like, you know what? I actually want Link stuff, but I'll stop buying all that. I have to like,
dude.
focus.
You're a shmup guy. You've gone down that rabbit hole now,
dude. The shmups, it's too expensive to go down to get them all, man. It's crazy. It's
Well,
like
I had
the genres, no matter what. Like every game, I'm like, this looks good. How much is? Oh my god!
Oh no!
Every single time.
I had some of the best ones for Sega, but I just recently dumped my Sega collection. I put everything on my Polymega and got rid of the physical for the Sega. And
no regrets.
Now. No regrets. No, because I have them all on my Polymega. So if I want to play them, I can play them. And I just use that money to buy more MVS games because the AES is. I have all the big hitters for AES, so I don't need anything like that. And so I just get most of the stuff now on MVS.
Have you picked up Nightmare in the Dark yet?
I haven't picked up Nightmare in the Dark. I have Vengeance. They sent me the code for the game. What is it called again? Vengeance something. But the game is about to release here. I'll show you here in a second. On AES. It's made by Nalia Studios. Mm-hmm. It's called Vengeance Hunters.
Yep.
But they sent me the code for to play it on Xbox, so I have it digital, but I'm just waiting on my physical. That's the physical that's coming right there. And so it should be here in a little bit.
It's pretty cool. I'm gonna get it on the MVS.
Yeah, the MVS one looks nice. It's I think they have a red card and a clear.
Yeah, there's like that frosted clear one.
Yes, yep. Looks really good, man. The game is dope. I beat it several times already, and it's a lot of hidden stuff in there. They did a really good job. I highly suggest. It's only $20 if you buy a digital copy. You buy the physical AES or MVS copy, they're like $460.
Yeah,
if you want that physical copy of it,
which is a deal for one of those types of games, which is amazing.
It is because I just recently got SNK versus Capcom Chaos on MVS, and
well, I'm getting it on Switch.
That one cost me. That one cost me a little bit.
Cag, you should see my Siege video. I found that at a booth for $50.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. Now that's what game collecting is about, man. Like finding stuff for the steal. The hunt is really what it's all about, man. Like a lot of people, they collect and then they'll just do like eBay or online.
Yep.
That's so boring, man. It's the hunt. It's like going out there and finding it out in the wild and then just like and getting it for this amazing price.
That's why those conventions are so good, man. Like
he wanted 300 for it, and I was like, if you tested it, he's like, I didn't have a way to test it, and I was like, how about $50? And he's like, yep.
Dang.
Like, yep.
Yeah, like I'll test it.
Yeah, but Joe, I was going to tell you, since you're a shmup fan, have you gone down the MSX route yet?
Oh yeah. I have the Sharp 6800, and I've looked at the MSX.
Do you have you ever played the Guardian Legend on the NES? Has anybody like Guardian Legend?
Yeah.
You know it's a sequel to this game, Gardic, on the MSX computer?
No, I did not.
Yes.
Most of the MSX.
This is one of Compile's first games from 1986. You got to give this one a shot.
I'll try it out.
Give this one a shot. It's one of the hardest shoot 'em ups of all time.
It's
harder than Mushihime-sama Futari.
Oh, sick. I'm sure I'd love it. Yeah, I have tons of respect for the old shmups. Like, I think they're really fun, to be honest with you, even if they're a little clunky.
They're always
one of those genres, like, even on Atari, like, I'm like, I still like Defender and shit. I think it's fun. Like, the
River Raid's a
premise of being a little ship that shoots bullets transcends times.
But yeah.
Have you played Aero Fighter on Neo Geo? Any of them? Aero Fighter 1, 2, or 3?
Yeah, I've
love those.
I think I've won credit clear Aero Fighters 1 and 2, or Sonic Wings 1 and 2.
Sonic Wings.
Air Fighters 1 is not on. I haven't played it. I cleared it on the SNES.
Mhm.
And
Which
then
is
I did
insanely
2
expensive,
on the
right?
Neo Geo.
Isn't
But I
that
haven't
like
played
one
the
of the
third
most
one yet.
expensive ones? Isn't it?
Not really. Like if you get them on MVS, you can
on
get.
the SNES, on the SNES, isn't?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
it's
$1,000.
expensive on your SNES.
Yeah.
I think it's like wicked expensive.
Neo
All right.
Geo, they're like maybe 150, 175,
Yeah,
something like
yeah,
that.
they're not bad on Neo Geo. They're pretty good.
That's nothing for Neo Geo games. All right, guys, we're at 3 hours, and I just don't know if people have to like use the bathroom, take care of their kids, see their families,
bad.
that sort of things. I just want to say, thank you guys all for coming on. This was like a ton of fun, and I really enjoyed it. Like again, if you guys if you haven't subbed to all these people, please sub, share, like, subscribe to our other channels. You're going to see a lot of great content. And we should have some exciting shows coming up soon. I'm trying to book some really cool guests, but they're kind of like, not quite booked, so I can't announce them. But they should be awesome. So stay tuned.
Watch your space.
Yeah, either
real
that or you're
quick.
going to see me and Figsy by ourselves next week. Woo!
Real quick, I missed the whole like plug your stuff thing earlier.
Plug it. What you got, man?
So there's a chance I could be in a video game coming out very soon here from First Moon Studios. It's called Legends of Boom. It is a studio headed by Tim Kidsrow. Legends of Boom is a RTS deck building card playing game. Think of it like the Star Wars chess, but you essentially build a 12 card deck. You put all those cards into your deck, and then they shuffle through the play field, and whoever destroys whoever's base first wins. It is totally rated mature. It is Conker's Bad Fur Day levels of humor. It is all voiced in commentary. Like the whole battle is commentated by Tim Kidsrow as a puppet commentator named Flip Nimrod. Anyways, there's a chance that I will be in the game. Very good chance that I will be in the game in puppet form and doing voiceover as well. The developers just ask that I plug the game and try to get as many people to download the game on Steam. It's free to play. The demo is free. When it launches, it will be free to play. In free to play, meaning you will have an advantage over people who pay to win, so to speak, because you can buy things in the game. But being someone who doesn't buy anything in the game, you have the upper hand. Anyways. So download the game on Steam. The demo is out right now. It launches next month in November. So the more people who download the demo, play it, and even though it's a demo, it's not online where you can battle against other people. If you go into when you download the game, go to the home screen, right on the bottom left corner. On the bottom left corner of the home screen is the chat. You can type in N Squared Podcast sent me, and that will count towards my chances of getting in the game. The developers just wanted to challenge me, so to speak, to get as many people to play as possible. And if I, tickle their fancy enough with getting enough people to play the demo, they will animate me and put me in the game. And this will be the very first video game I will ever be a part of. So it's really big. It's a really big deal to me. Voiceover work is like my dream job, something I've always wanted to do. And Joe, like earlier, I told you I was painting a house. So help me stop doing manual labor and let me put my company to rest, and so I can stop doing home maintenance and improvement and actually do something I actually want to do. So anyways, yeah, cheap plug.
Legends of Boom?
Legends of Boom on Steam.
Legends of Boom.
They reached out to me like yesterday to tell me about it. The people who were making it. It sounded pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a really fun game. My PC is not the best, and it still runs it. Yep, that's it. And it runs great, even on my shitty PC. It's a really fun game. There's just quick battle mode. There's a campaign mode as well. The demo so far seems to just keep going and going in the campaign mode, so you can get almost as far as you want in that. There are packs to rip open as soon as you download the demo to grow your stockpile of cards. We're just trying to grow and do bigger things here over at the N Squared Podcast. The podcast and the long form videos as well. full disclosure, I'm signed with Malice Media LLC, and they helped me get this gig. But either which way, just trying to grow and continue to push towards the 1,000 subs. I kind of joked earlier when I said nobody knows me, and that's kind of true because I'm sub 1,000. But it seems that every convention I go to, everyone knows me, but my sub count doesn't reflect that. So I don't know.
Well,
Whatever.
wait till I go to
Anyways.
a convention. I got 140 subs, and I'm going to be real confused.
Yeah.
Now, what did you need us to put in the chat again? I'm gonna write that down.
N Squared Podcast sent me.
N Squared Podcast.
Yeah, the Malice Media people are who hit me up. They hit me up on social media the other day. Seem like good people.
Yep, nope, they're absolutely great people. They're the reason that I got booked for PRGE next year. So
nice.
With a name like Malice, they must be nice.
Yeah, right. So nice you got to say it twice.
No, like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, and I'll be getting back to long form videos here shortly. Having a child during the middle of summer, kind of got me busy doing other things. So
Cool. All right. Well,
Yeah.
appreciate it, man. Everybody check out Legends of Boom on Steam. Go vote for Nick. I'd like to see him in the game. I think he'd be good at voice acting.
I think so.
And, yeah.
And also, guys, have a happy Halloween.
Have a happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Right, we're
It was me.
What? Plot twist.
We're gonna go out with this classic.
Oh no!
Happy Halloween, everybody. Have a nice night, guys.
All right, guys.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thank God.
You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation collecting season. Come on, won't you stay with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world. Let's show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Gonna talk to guests, only got the best. Gonna put their knowledge to the test. Gonna laugh and eat, gonna miss a treat. Gonna show you things you've never seen. Gonna sing the song to the break of dawn. Gonna rock this party all night long. So come on, everybody, let me see you dance. Get yourself ready in a one more chance. You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation.